It is our mission to embrace the ideal that our show shall always strive to belittle the stupid and to play an occasional song. We shall also strive to take all of your requests, but to never, under any circumstances, play those requests. It is our mission to offend as many people as we can in the shortest time possible. We shall always remember that no matter how pointless and stupid the things we say are, we shall present them in such a way that they will be lessons that will last a lifetime. We shall strive always to do nothing and to be mean. We shall strive mightily to always be the #1 morning show in Salt Lake, or, if not that, the #2 morning show, or at least somewhere in the top 15 or 20 morning shows. At least once a year, we shall go to someone's home, and we shall eat really good food, and we'll make you wish that you could be there to share it with us. And finally, it is our mission to always remind the listeners that we never lie, and we're always right. So let it be written, so let it be done.
No, Gina. We pretty much were sure that she wouldn't be here.
No, not Richie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
Sorry.
Richie. Sorry. Yeah, Gina's. I don't know. She'll be. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
First of all, a thank you text from Ed Brass. But second of all,
yeah.
on this day,
Right.
Jimmy Page, the guitarist for Led Zeppelin,
Mm-hmm.
was born in 1974.
But let's see now. Was he the guitarist for the Yardbirds before Led Zeppelin?
I don't know.
Or
I'll look it
I
up.
know. Jeff Beck was
Do not know.
Yardbirds.
Do not know.
Yes, he was.
Yes. Okay. I thought so. The Yardbird. Another. We should play a Yardbirds.
They're
song.
an English rock band formed in London.
Terrific. They did some terrific songs. Heart Full of Soul is a great song. Anyway, yeah, Gina, gone. I'm predicting she won't be back. Let's see, what's today? Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe one day this week.
Well, you never know.
She's going out of town on Friday, though. So I think she won't be back.
You don't think at all?
No.
See, because I contend you never know with Gina because she always comes back too early. So, like, we'll probably see her tomorrow, and then she'll not be here Thursday, Friday.
I'm fairly, sympathetic to her plight, though, because I could not come to work in November.
Uh-huh.
I think it was 3 days. I didn't feel that bad. I just couldn't talk. That's why. So,
Well, and trying to push through it doesn't do anyone any good.
Well, when it was so bad that I knew if I tried to talk, it would just sound horrible and make it worse.
Yeah.
So we'll officially begin the show. What, Carrie?
No, just,
That's the Richie side. That's what that is.
nothing. I miss Gina.
Yeah, already. Carrie doesn't even like Gina that much, but he just hates you.
No, I know. I feel it. It's why I'm in this part of the room.
Anyone care for a Reed's candy?
I don't know what that is.
The root beer candy?
No, these are the cinnamon.
Oh, okay.
Reed's cinnamon candies, individually wrapped. It says on the roll, and it's since 1893, I think. Reed's cinnamon candy since 1893.
It seemed to me like I used to get this in a root beer flavor.
I think they do a root beer as well.
That's fascinating.
It's
It's the not lifesavers.
Yeah, they're really good if you like cinnamon. And I bought them at Cabin Fever. where
they got all the retro.
They have a bunch of retro candies there. So you want to try one, Richie?
I would.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. They do carry, in fact, have the Reed's Candy Roll root beer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one I remember.
Yeah, root beer and cinnamon. I think Cabin Fever has the root beer as well. I should have
stopped by.
They also have
one.
Peppermint, butterscotch, wintergreen.
Ooh, I love butterscotch.
Caramel rum.
Woo!
And spearmint.
The butterscotch Lifesavers were good. I'll bet those are even better.
I wonder if...
Because Reed's is superior to Lifesavers. I'll say that right now.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if... now, is Reed's an American candy or a...
Don't know.
Richie's got a...
It is an old-time candy.
Yes.
The Reed's of Chicago.
Chicago, all right.
Yeah, so they are now owned by the Iconic Candy Company.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we ought to officially get things underway. You know, with my, and we will officially start the program in a moment, with my superior eyesight, I can read this Reed's label pretty well, although some of the print is awfully small, but my superior eyesight provided by Hoops Vision.
No, it's retro candy, but you can see the date on there. 2019 is the expiration date.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not. It wasn't made in 1893.
People are thinking that we're eating old candy.
No. They still make them. Hoops Vision. Listen, chances are you've made some New Year's resolutions. Why don't you make a resolution to, if you wear glasses or have contact lenses or bad eyesight, call Hoops Vision.
My sister's wife just had this done, and she said to me, "I am sad that I waited so long. I waited 2 years because I was nervous."
Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous.
They're great. Hoops Vision, LASIK from Hoops Vision. You can get rid of the glasses, the contact lenses, and it's the best. It'll be a great start to your year if you do it.
You'll love
it. Call Hoops Vision. I've done it. Carrie's done it. Family members. Schedule your free LASIK consultation today. Just call 877-30-LASIK. That's 877-305-2745. Or you can schedule online. Check it out. Go to Hoops Vision. That's HOOPES Vision.com. 24 months, zero interest on their financing plan. So
the Sundance Film Festival is returning to Utah January 18th through...
So you saw this video a week or so ago about the guy strapped a GoPro to his dog to see what the dog did while he was at work.
I didn't see it.
It was disturbing because the dog didn't have a moment's rest. It was nervous and frightened.
In the house?
In the house. And
he's never coming back. He's never coming back.
It would hear noises outside and be on alert, and it terrified me. Because I thought to myself about my dog, Ripley. I was just convinced because she can be a little high strung. And I was just convinced that.
I don't think she's big enough to strap a GoPro to. It'd be too heavy.
We did not do that. We did, however, a friend of ours gave us this drop cam.
What is it? What is that?
It's a live camera that we set up.
Like a nanny cam?
Like a nanny cam. In the living room.
Are you looking at her right now?
This is broadcasting live from my living room right now.
Now, does she just stay in your living room during the day, or can she roam around the house?
That's what we wanted to know. Her favorite spot seems to be, we've set up a little kind of a table next to the window, and she likes to sit there and look out the window. So we watched her for a day. She didn't leave that spot.
Well, she's fine then. Don't you feel better?
She's sleeping.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, that's good.
She's a teenager.
Exactly.
She talking back to you?
I thought she'd at least be on guard or a little on alert.
Nah.
No. She barely moves.
A bomb can go off in the front yard.
And that's the other thing is that it has a motion sensor. So it'll alert me. Motion is detected,
That never happens.
No.
She doesn't move.
She was a day. She was lying there.
Then she's perfectly comfortable. This should make you feel good.
Yes and no. She's kind of lazy. A little disappointed.
She's never going to amount to anything.
I think you ought to make her get a job.
Maybe. require her to get
a little lazy dog.
lazy dog. Maybe get her, a list of duties, chores.
Yeah.
You leave her list on the counter. Didn't
This has got to be done by the time
I
I'm
get
home.
She can put a little paw print next to the one she's completed.
But yeah, that video of the dog that was freaking out, it was disturbing to watch. Made me very upset. I was just
Somebody in the chat room says that most dogs are like that. That guy's dog is just a neurotic mess.
really.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my cat, who is a jerk when we're at home,
Jerk cat.
Mr. Fluffy Pants. I was sitting there yesterday. I was talking to my wife, and he came up and bit me on the arm for no reason. I'm just sitting there, like, ow, what are you doing? And it wasn't hard, but just kind of went eek, and bit me on the arm. I'm certain that cat just sleeps all day, and then when we get home, it goes crazy.
Well, it's because you're in its house.
Yeah.
When you get there.
Yeah, he just sleeps all day.
Do you think he's like a reincarnated dead person from somebody that hated you? And they're back to haunt you?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No, I
He's
don't.
biting you for no reason.
No,
Maybe it's
I
a
don't.
reason from a past life.
No, I don't.
No?
No.
I don't think that.
I think the
No,
cat's-
I think he's a curse from God. God sent the cat to torment.
officially.
No, he's just a rambunctious teenager who, when he bites me, I give him a little cuff up the side of the head,
Hey.
and he stops. I go, don't
Yeah,
do that.
Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
All right. Yeah, we neglected to ask you to contact us.
Oh, yeah.
For the check-ins. This is the least popular feature we ever do on the Radio from Hell show. It is so unpopular that every consultant who's ever heard it says, "What, you get rid of that. You should take that out of your show. It's pulling your ratings down." And we say, you know what? We don't care. We like to talk to our listeners. We like the fact that people call in and ruin our show. So please do it. 877-602-9696. It's check-ins. You can. Is there a prize for
There
check-ins
is.
today?
We're welcoming New Politics in their Lost in Translation tour to the Depot on Wednesday, February 28th. It's special guest Dreamers and the Rex will be here as well. Tickets are on
that's a
sale
good
now.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tickets at SmithTix.com and the Depot box office, or to one lucky checker-in, or at 877-602-9696.
All right, now do you have to sponsor the opening of the program?
I do.
All right.
Brought to you by Woohoo! Lucky's Auto Credit, where $77 in a job gets you a car. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Ogden. For program details or to apply online, visit luckysautocredit.com. Woohoo!
All right. Woohoo. Woohoo. The moon, woohoo, is a waning crescent moon, 43.9% of full. We'll have another full moon January 31st. That will be a blue moon, because there are 2 full moons this month. The moon will set today at 12:44 p.m., today being Tuesday. It's the 9th day of January in the year of our Lord, 2018. And this is North America's most beneficent morning broadcast.
Beneficent?
Beneficent radio broadcast. It's the Radio from Hell show, coming to you from high atop the 2nd story of the 11-story Broadway Media Tower. Radio from Hell, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi. Gina not here today, so filling in is the producer of the show and lady-in-waiting to the Radio from Hell show, Richard Stedman. Dylan Allred is here producing video for the program. You can see us live in the studio right now as Kerry puts on his hat.
My working hat.
x96.com/live. Not only will you just see us in the studio, which is of mild interest, I think, but there are also little videos and pictures accompanying the news, so tune in for that. And also, Katie for Short is here helping out. And if you haven't seen Katie for Short, usually we just see her sitting down. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw her walking today for the first time since
surgery.
She's been back with her surgery. Mm-hmm. It's pretty funny. Okay. She's got she had knee surgery.
Yeah,
and she's walking pretty funny. I mean, I'm sorry, Katie, and I know it probably doesn't feel good, but it looks pretty funny. So anyway, check-ins 877s. My fingers are sore. It's Braille Literacy Month.
Oh,
and I've been working on my Braille, and I was working on it so hard my fingertips got sore. So
there was another one that was.
It's National Play God Day.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Yeah. So how do you play God?
I'll show you.
Well, Kerry's good at it. I've seen him do it.
Today is also National Static Electricity Day.
Oh, boy. We can do experiments.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around the studio, shuffling my feet,
people.
and then go and shock people.
What a jerky thing to do when people did that. Wow, that was awful.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, 877-602-9696. Anybody calling in to help ruin the show?
A couple. Okay. A couple of people. Let's start with Caleb. Hello, Caleb.
Caleb, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm doing pretty good this morning. How are you?
Well, Caleb, I'm very excited because it's National Play God Day. And so remember, at any point during this phone call, we can just hang up on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I accept that.
All right. So what do you got for us?
Oh, not much. I'm heading in for my last work day before a 10-day vacation.
Where are you going to go for vacation?
Honestly, I'm just staying at home and doing nothing for 10 days.
A lot of people do that. Just say,
life is so hectic right now. I got 3 kids, 7 and under.
Oh, my gosh.
I just want to just do nothing.
Well, you don't listen. If you really want a vacation, you should get yourself an apartment downtown and stay away from those kids.
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, do that, Caleb.
You really don't have any. You don't have any plans over the next 10 days. Not a project. Not anything you're going to do.
Oh yeah, no. I've got some projects I need to get done. I'm rebuilding a cabinet that my father-in-law made for my wife's mother.
Yeah.
Okay. So they gave it to us, and it's slowly come apart.
Well,
so I'm gonna tear that thing
this
down.
is not a vacation then. It's not a vacation. Every Christmas vacation, I usually stay home when we take off at Christmas. And I always say to myself, okay, I'm going to clean up my desk, my home desk. You know how many years I've said that and how many years my desk has remained unclean?
I bet I do.
every year. It's still a mess. I never clean it up because, it's vacation.
I've been saying I'll get to this cabinet for about 6 years now.
I'll bet you don't do it. I'll bet you don't do it. All right, Caleb.
If you're smart, you won't do it.
Thanks for checking in.
All right, Caleb.
Have a good one.
Let's go to Devin. Hello, Devin.
Good morning, Devin.
Morning. Thanks for letting me listen.
Yes.
So I'm feeling ambitious today. I'm going to wear shorts because I'm hoping for an early spring.
Okay.
It is spring. It's gonna be in the 40s today.
40s today, but rain and maybe some snow overnight.
Yeah, and
I think I'll be home before the snow hits, so I should be good, right?
Yeah, you should. Good. You'll be good. All right. Thanks, Devin.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. This is
Ali?
Ali?
Or Ali?
It looks like all.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Well, actually, my name is Ollie, but everyone just calls me Al, so let's stick with that, guys.
Oh, okay.
I see.
See,
But-
that's one L if it's Al.
Yeah, so yeah.
Because that's all with two.
One L, Katie.
Yeah.
Just one.
All right. She don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She got the name.
Do
She
you,
put
see,
it
do you
down.
see what I go through? You're in the room now. You see what I go through?
He said his name was L.E.
No.
Yes, he did.
Well, his name.
I'm talking about the whole Al all thing.
Yeah. You don't put all.
You're in the room now. You can see what I'm going through.
Yeah, we
You
think
don't
it's
put
hilarious
all.
in the other room.
Oh, it is hilarious for you guys in there.
Hi, Ali.
How's it going, guys?
Great. What's up with you?
Going back to work on my first day back from a 2-week vacation.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in the Air Force. I work on Hill.
Oh, nice.
Hey, where'd you go on vacation? Any place fun?
Nah, I went to Michigan to see the family.
Now, Ali, are you of Middle Eastern descent?
I am, actually.
And you are serving in the armed forces. Why don't you people get out of this country?
Right?
My
bad.
It's just stunning, isn't it? It's stunning that there are people you must have encountered that in some cases.
Yeah, if I had more time to tell you a story, I would.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks for serving the country in the Air Force, and have a lovely day, and we're glad you listened to the show.
Take care, guys. Love you.
Yeah,
All
see
right.
you later.
See ya. Meg, the manager, I need a supportive work family like Gina has to take a day off. 5 days off in 3 months. Exhausted. Tim, the tree guy, checking in. Cement Dave says not only a blue moon, but a super moon with a total lunar eclipse.
What? I was
what he
unaware.
says.
I'll take a look.
Good Godfrey checking in. Let's see. Gina, this is Trooper S. I heard your complaint about your accident. Identities have to be found before any parties leave the scene.
How do they know for sure if they don't have identification?
They have listen, when the authorities pull you over and you don't have your papers, they will find out who you are anyway, and they won't let you go until they do.
All right. Let's see. Lauren checking in. Ever since someone pointed out that the correct way to say is checker in, now it gets on my nerves when I hear checker inner.
A checker in.
A checker in. I wonder if that's a hotel term or something. I don't know. Cyclops checking in, trying to get myself motivated for the commute into the kitchen.
Do you suppose that Cyclops is a person with one eye? Is that why that person is called
That's
Cyclops?
insensitive if it is.
Or maybe it's a big zit, right
I don't know.
right in the middle of the forehead.
Yeah, maybe.
Hayden is checking in. Hello.
Good morning. Hey. Good morning, Hayden.
Good morning.
What's up with you today, Hayden?
Hey, I am just about to start my shift at the hospital.
Doing,
so I thought it went well with
doing what? What
playing
do you do?
God Day.
What do you What do you do there?
I am a pharmacy technician.
Ah,
so that's not playing God. If you were a full class pharmacist or perhaps a physician, you'd be playing God. But you're a tech.
That's true. Well, I'm assisting in playing God.
Yeah, but you've gone to a lot of school. Don't let Bill push you over like that. You've been at least, 6 years, 8 years?
He hasn't been to God school.
12 years.
12 years, Bill.
What?
12 years of school?
No, come on.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years to be a pharmacy tech.
And I thought I saw in my pharmacy, I decided I'd pay attention for a change. They have these machines that do the pill counting now. It's this giant machine.
Does it say pharmacy tech on it?
I wanted it to say that. I was hoping that it did, but I watched it and it was like the pills would come down a thing and go into a bottle, and I'm like, well, that's just putting people out of work, isn't it?
It really kind of is, yeah.
Yeah. So when we say, my pharmacist I like and all of that, but you say, well, all you do really is you just count the number of pills and put them in a bottle and make a label. There's more to it than that, though, isn't there?
Yeah. I kind of only caught some of that. My phone kind of cut out.
Yeah, your phone's terrible.
There's more to it than just counting pills and making a label.
Oh, definitely. A lot of it's a lot of law-based decisions too.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't really.
That's something else that could be automated, though.
No, your machine can't do that.
Sure, it could.
Well, maybe it could. Well, thanks for checking in with us.
All right. Oh, bye.
Thanks.
See you.
Bye.
One of these days, I'm going to have a phone etiquette class for people who call in. We'll have it on the air.
Okay.
Teach you how to use your phone properly.
We should do a video with Dylan because.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Because you see this thing, it's very sensitive, this microphone. You don't need to have your hand around it and be right up on it. It'll hear you. Yeah. It'll hear you fine.
Exactly.
Anyway. Let's see, 628's Big Boy News and Opinioendo coming up.
Check of traffic probably here.
Yeah. We'll also start the Expo coming up. And it's not even necessarily about like your resolutions.
Right.
It's more like what do you plan to do in 2018?
If you sort of,
if
you got some sort of a trajectory.
Something big,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. It's already planned. It's not a resolution.
Yeah.
You're going.
Yeah.
Traffic is brought to you by Focus on the Road. There's nothing but the road. Sean Hogan and Everest Collision want you and your loved ones to get home safe and sound. Stop texting and driving. Download the Everest Collision app responsibly. There is no traffic to report. Although I will say this, on the roads there is some water, so be careful. It can be slick in some parts, but no known accidents.
All right.
You know what I'm going to plan to do this year? Right away.
What's that?
Go up to Park City for Sundance.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
The 2018 Sundance Film Festival, right around the corner, it says here.
Well, it is very close.
Yeah, it's very close. January 18th through the 28th. That's
next week.
Yeah, that's the film festival dates. It's up in Park City, of course, but also here in Salt Lake and also at the Sundance Mountain Resort near Provo. Our good friend Cody Dangle yesterday was saying he loves it here in Salt Lake, the Sundance films that they show at the Grand Theater.
Mm-hmm.
He says that's a great place. You can get world premiere films, all new episodic content, virtual reality, filmmaker panel conversations, music, and more. Utah locals will get early access to the festival ticket pre-sale, one day only, January 11th. That's this week, right?
Yeah. Thursday.
Starting at noon.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Purchase an all-access pass on sale right now and get priority entrance to screenings throughout the festival. Passes are still available for the Eccles Theater in Park City and the Grand Theater here in Salt Lake. And for last-minute tickets during the festival, you can use the e-wait list right from your phone. Find out more at sundance.org/festival.
John Smith kicks off a 1-hour non-stop music wingding at the conclusion of Radio from Hell on X96.
Lionel Elgin, our friend.
Baseball announcer.
Baseball announcer extraordinaire.
I've had people asking me about Lionel. What's happened
Well,
to him?
the season started again, and he got another job. He announces baseball on radio stations, and
he keeps getting jobs because he's really good at it.
He is excellent at it. He's very colorful. He loves the players, is the thing. He really, really, really loves baseball players. Really.
Yeah.
A lot.
You'll see what we mean.
This is the latest tape he sent me. He got fired again. And this is what happened. This is the last one that he was at. Here you go. You tell me if he deserved firing or not. I don't know.
So we're set to go here in the third. And what a beautiful day for baseball it is. Like a day in the park, folks. The athletes like cuddly little pets, frolicking, running, jumping, chasing, and retrieving balls. Furry, fuzzy fellas. So here comes Davis now, 0 for 1 today, flying out to right in the first. Notice the way Davis likes to sway back and forth, foot to foot at the plate. First offering from Leaf, fastball strike in the outside corner, 0-1. And as Davis teeter-totters back and forth, one can't help but notice the up and down motion of each cheek of his finely toned hind end. Like two pistons in a perfectly timed machine, lubed with oils and perspiration for maximum viscosity. Lee set now, kicks and fires, breaking ball low, 1-1. We call it the show, folks, and no wonder. Dave is very muscular. Also, one of the unfortunate individuals involved in the steroid controversy, being questioned by league officials, of course, Davis denies it. The 1-1 pitch, just inside ball 2. I don't personally know much about steroids. I know in most cases they're taken via hypodermic needle. And I'm of the opinion, folks, that if a player wants to stick something in his hind end or have a fellow teammate poke him in the rear, so be it. Who are we to judge? If it helps the game, bend me over and stick it in.
And see, then that's when they went to commercial at that point, and
they fired him.
Then they fired him.
He doesn't get it.
Now, was it his comments about steroids? Is that what the problem was?
That must be it.
Yeah.
You know what
He sounds pro-steroid. And
You know what the problem is that he needs a color man.
He does. He needs someone in there with him.
He's doing it all by himself.
He needs to do the play-by-play.
I mean,
he needs somebody to do the color.
I think he's capable of doing. Well, he does both. I think perfectly.
Yeah, he does both, but he needs to.
I'm going to continue to send these to Larry Miller, and hopefully we can get him hired for the Bees, because
you just like him in town.
Yeah, I think he's an excellent. He's an excellent announcer.
I think we got enough of his kind in this town.
Gary Jackson, Bill Allred, Gina Barberi, Radio from Hell on X96.
I don't know, Gina Barberi.
Who?
Not around.
Yeah.
Not on the premises. Not sure when she'll be on the premises.
We'll see.
She'll be back
sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We got the X poll coming up in a moment, but first, big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
National Auto Plaza. Who builds the best trucks?
Who?
National Auto Plaza does. Or lifted accessories that you haven't even thought of yet, all to take your next adventure to a whole new level.
Well, there's a big controversy over the death of Thomas Monson, the president of the LDS Church. Yes, there is. So the New York Times,
the failing New York Times, Bill,
in their fake news obituaries, they did an obituary for Thomas Monson, a man of prominence in the country.
Okay.
And LDS people did not care for it.
Why?
Well, here's what the New York Times says about it.
Okay.
Readers reacted strongly to our obituary for Thomas S. Monson, who served as prophet and head of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The legislature.
For nearly a decade. In hundreds of messages to the New York Times and dozens of comments on the obituary, readers, including many Mormons, probably mostly Mormons, wrote that the obituary focused too narrowly on the politics and controversies of the Mormon Church and overlooked Mr. Monson's contributions to the community. Here are some of their comments. Well, we should read the obituary.
I'll get
first. I've got it right here.
Okay.
I can just click on this link and it'll open it. And particularly it was the opening, if I remember correctly, of the obituary that people were very objecting to. Here's how it opens, the obituary in the New York Times. Click. Come on. There we go. Thomas S. Monson, who as president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
the legislature,
since 2008, enlarged the ranks of female missionaries, but rebuffed demands to ordain women as priests and refused to alter church opposition to same-sex marriage, died on Tuesday at his home in Salt Lake City. He was 90. His death was announced on the church's website. Then it goes on to say, facing vociferous demands to recognize same-sex marriage and weathering demonstrations at church headquarters by Mormon women pleading for the right to be ordained as priests, Mr. Monson did not bend. Teachings holding homosexuality to be immoral, bans on sexual intercourse outside of male-female marriages, and an all-male priesthood would remain unaltered. So then they go on to talk about in the missionary force. He enlarged the missionary force. He displayed a new openness to scholars of history of the Mormon Church, releasing documents that had been, withheld.
These were all things done under his presidency.
Sure,
right?
Yeah. Goes on to talk about how the missionary program, they changed the age, and that was kind of disturbing to some people in the church and exciting for others.
He was a controversial sometimes president. I mean, he was one of the more hardline, right?
No, I don't. I mean, people will accuse me of being soft towards it. No, I don't think he was hardline. I think it's how the church is, right? I don't think it was President Monson or President Hinckley before him or President Kimball.
I would kind of agree with that.
Benson.
The guy who's coming in is maybe a little more hardline.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Okay. But these were all things that happened under his presidency, correct? So that's just New York. That's just them
the
reporting.
reason why Mormon folks are upset is because rather than saying President Monson, who served as leader of the church and in some sort of leadership capacity for 60 years, whose tireless service for the widow and, kind of characterizing him more of that, and then including that, they led with rebuffed demands to ordain women as priests and refuse to alter church opposition.
Okay,
and they source things like Fidel Castro's obituary, saying, you know what, they treated Fidel Castro better than they did President Monson.
Well, here's what the Times says about it. They put some comments of people who object to it and so forth. We drew questions from readers' feedback, and William McDonald, our obituaries editor, responded to them. Many readers have pointed out that that much of the obituary focused largely on the Mormon Church's controversial and politically divisive issues. They say Mr. Monson's life included a strong community and humanitarian work as the leader of a large religious following, and wish that the obit had reflected more of that. How do you respond to those readers? Well, the editor says, I think the obituary was a faithful accounting of the more prominent issues that Mr. Monson encountered and dealt with publicly during his tenure. Some of these matters, the role of women in the church's policy toward homosexuality and same-sex marriage, and more, were widely publicized and discussed, not just in Utah, but around the country.
Sure.
And it's our obligation as journalists, whether in an obituary or elsewhere, to fully air these issues from both sides. I think we did that, accurately portraying Mr. Monson's position as leader of the church and those of the faithful and others who question church policies.
So to juxtapose this and to trying to defend it, so Fidel Castro, not a great gentleman to people of his country, probably some oppression, probably some people died at the hand of Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro, the fiery apostle of revolution who brought the Cold War to the Western Hemisphere in '59 and then defied the United States for nearly half a century as Cuba's maximum leader, bedeviling 11 American presidents and briefly pushing the world to the brink of nuclear war, died on Friday. They didn't specify these very,
Well, that's not particularly a glowing review.
No.
Bedeviling.
What's the difference?
Bringing Cold War and
nuclear war.
So the difference is, and I think you pointed out, is for many people, and you're really not going to make anyone happy within the church because this is someone who we consider to be God's prophet. But you're taking everything that would have been negative under the time that he was a president and leading with that, and people understand that that's why the Times would do it. Those are the controversial things.
Here's what they say about that. Many Mormon readers didn't think that the obituary for Mr. Monson reflected the positive feelings that much of the Mormon community had for him. When writing an obituary for a religious leader, is there an obligation to pay tribute in any way? We're not in the business of paying tribute.
Right.
We're journalists, first and foremost. I think tracing the life of a religious leader would almost go without saying that he or she had won the respect and admiration of those who put them in positions to lead. But we may well quote someone explaining that respect or admiration if we could offer something alternative to readers' understanding of an individual. In other words, we're not going to quote someone saying simply, Mr. Smith was a wonderful person, but we will quote someone saying why he was a wonderful person. So he says that in the Monson obituary, we reached out to a scholar of the church, Richard Lyman Bushman, to shed light on President Monson's move to lower the age under which women would be eligible for missionary work. He wrote, it changed the whole view of what women would do, that they would go on just like men, Professor Bushman said. There was a great surge of readiness. It changed their mentality.
Mm-hmm. It's not as bad as everyone's saying, but I think it irked me a little.
I was going to say, I think you're right. It's not as bad as everyone is saying, and everyone in this kind of bubble I can see being upset. But if you're outside the bubble, like the New York Times is,
sure,
to them it's perfectly reasonable because there was a lot of news around this guy.
Sure.
Well, how come you called him Mr. Monson all the time and not President Monson?
Well, right.
And the guy said, no disrespect was intended.
Yeah.
We might have referred to him as President Monson at least once in keeping with our style book, but that book also says Mr. and Dr. are also appropriate. In any case, Mr. is a common honorific in our pages.
Yes.
I kind of have taken a cue from the New York Times over the years. They refer to, whenever they put even a killer, they don't refer to him as just, like Speck or they say Mr. Speck, even if he's a bad. And I think it's interesting that they do that, and it helps set it apart somehow. You know exactly who they're talking about,
right,
when they do that. So, and I kind of do that when I read the news. All right, let's move on to.
Oh, who brought up Castro, by the way?
Lots of people. So there was a big. Like social media push where they looked up Castro and they looked up, I can't remember the couple of other people.
It's kind of like playing the Hitler card, right?
Yeah.
Well,
oh yeah.
You
kind of
lose.
the extreme example if you're going to prove your point, Kerry.
Let's look up the New York Times obituary of Hitler.
Yeah, get on that.
Okay. I'm sure you
Let's
can
see
find
how
it.
it goes.
Yeah. Mitt Romney was treated for prostate cancer.
Yes.
Last summer. But apparently it was a very successful treatment. Prostate cancer many times is very slow-moving, especially you catch it early, and his doctors say that it has not affected any of his wiring or any of his mechanics. The hydraulics are all still in place.
Oh, good.
So
on the Mitbot 2000.
Yes, he's fine.
Yes,
he'll be fine. It shouldn't affect his run to be the White Horse.
It's hanging by a thread.
That's the White Horse prophecy. So we talked yesterday about that 7-Eleven out in one of the Jordans.
With the hepatitis A.
Hepatitis, and the health department saying if you were at that 7-Eleven between certain dates, you ought to call the health department and probably get a shot because one of the workers there had hepatitis A. Well, they've been overwhelmed by people.
I'm sure.
Since 8 a.m. Monday morning, the Salt Lake County Health Department has been answering calls from people who are worried about the outbreak that occurred at the 7-Eleven on 7800 South, 2660 West. They received 343.
It's a popular 7-Eleven.
Apparently, referrals regarding the exposure. Calls came in even before 8 o'clock. When did we do the story? Early. I'll bet people started calling them hearing.
Absolutely, because hepatitis is not a thing you mess around with.
We had staff taking the calls, so many that we needed to increase the number of call takers, said Gary Edwards, executive director of the Salt Lake County Health Department. A worker infected with the virus may have handled food and other items between December 26th and January 3rd.
Yeah,
Officials,
so they said if you got a fountain drink from that 7-Eleven,
fresh fruit,
or the fruit or the food off the grill, that you need to call and maybe get treated.
And Skoll. I don't know Skoll. You put a pinch between your cheek and gum.
Sure.
If you're dipping snuff, no.
Yeah, if you're sharing snuff with the guy from the 7-Eleven, but
no, I just made that up. The health department is urging people to who may be exposed to go to a pharmacy, healthcare provider, or health department and get a shot. So apparently you can get.
So you just go to a pharmacy.
Yeah,
And say,
apparently your pharmacist can give you.
I
that.
went to that 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
and they went,
256 people have received a vaccination at the health department.
That's
already.
That's something.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Would you take the chance? I don't know.
Take the chance.
And not go? I'd go if I thought I had
not
been
go
there.
get the shot.
Well, hell, I'd go. Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
I think I'd just go buy another can of Skull.
A little bit between your lip and your teeth.
Just a pinch between your cheek and gum.
A little bit of Hepe between your cheek and gum.
So North Korea says it's going to send a delegation of athletes to the Olympics in South Korea.
Yeah.
And there's also, apparently, this morning, some breaking news. They're going to talk military stuff, North and South Korea. Talk about maybe de-escalating military tensions. That's good news.
So help me. So the Korean conflict came about because of what? Is it because the North is communist and the South is?
Well, yeah, and it's too complicated to go into all of the stuff because
But
China was backing the North, United States was backing the South, so it was a shadow war.
It was communism.
It was a war between America and China.
But it's not religious like other places, right? It's not the religion of the North is different.
No.
Okay.
And it's the war never. Well, first of all, it wasn't a war. It was a
conflict.
What do they call it? A military action or something like that.
It was the Korean conflict.
Yeah, there was never a declared war, and it has never ended.
Yeah.
There's never been a truce or peace signed. And that's basically what it was the North being controlled by China. So it was a puppet war, a shadow war, China and America. Let me do this story, and then we'll get to the Expo. An Ohio man said that Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak told him to kill his mother, and he did.
Okay.
He's been found not guilty by reason of insanity.
You think?
I want to know if anybody has questioned Pat Sajak. That's what I want.
It's the perfect crime. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I want to know. The Ohio
Did
man.
Did Sajak know this woman? I want to know.
I don't know if it matters.
Well, yes.
Did he know the guy? I think they should question Pat Sajak and say, "Did you appear in this man's
Did you have a
room
motive?
late at night?
Where
and
were
tell
you?
him to kill his mother? And if you say where were you that night? You were asleep? Well, maybe it was your alter ego.
Maybe the woman owed money for a vowel that she bought and didn't pay.
The guy's mentally ill. He did kill his mother. He said Pat Sajak told him to do it. And he also insisted that Vanna White had nothing to do with it.
Of course.
She's innocent.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
Sports, weather, traffic.
Sports. Here we go. So Pink, she's going to be singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Justin Timberlake, he's the halftime music. Should be pretty great.
Is he gonna rip somebody's bodice off?
Could. People love the Justin Timberlake. That'll be a great halftime show.
You heard? I heard some new song of his, just a snippet of it.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
It's not great. Some of his other stuff is great. His new stuff, not great. Steph Curry, plays for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
He might be buying a piece of the Carolina Panthers football.
Okay.
Might be owning that football team. If you guys didn't watch the college championship last night,
I was riveted to it. No, I didn't.
That was the game to watch.
Apparently, it was a good game.
Alabama came back after not scoring any points in the first half to come back and win 26-23 in overtime.
And our president was there.
Yes.
And he didn't. He sang a few of the words to the national anthem and then just stopped singing because you know what? He couldn't remember.
He doesn't know the words.
The offensive lineman Bradley Bozeman proposed to his girlfriend after he won the national championship. That's for Gina.
He'll regret that.
Yeah. And then Governor Rick Scott of Florida, he declared UCF, that's the University of Central Florida, as the national champions in the state of Florida. So there's this kind of controversy because UCF was the only college football team to be undefeated, but they were only given a 12th ranking going into the championship. A lot of people feel like, well, they're undefeated. They should have been, part of the semifinals and then gone on to it. So Rick Scott said, well, I'm not standing for this. So he made a big official declaration with the whereases.
So what?
Saying,
It means nothing.
No, it means absolutely nothing, but that's how much sports means to some people. So, according to Rick Scott, the governor of Florida, UCF is the national champions.
Especially in the South with football. It is like a religion to them.
And according to Rick Scott, there's also no such thing as global warming. So,
Yeah,
So there's that.
Yeah.
That's sports. Weather, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to continue to rain off and on today, 80% throughout the day, and maybe some snow, especially in the benches and higher elevations tonight. Rain through about noon tomorrow. And that is your weather. Traffic, there is an accident at 8400 West and 3800 South. This is out in Magna. That's causing you between 5 and 10 minutes delay. And that is it.
Thank you very much.
It's the X-Pole music. I guess that means we're doing an X-Pole.
This is the X-Pole music found by Steve at XL Automotive.
Oh, that's right.
He found it for me.
So here's what we got. We just want to know what you got. What are your plans for this year, 2018? Not necessarily New Year's resolutions, none of that kind of stuff. But although you can respond in that way if you like. But other than that, just hey, what you gonna do? You got any interesting plans?
Like this is the year I'm gonna.
Finally, I will.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Something like that.
I've been saying I'm going to do this. Well, by God, this time I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the number is 877-6029. You know what I'm going to do this year?
What are you going to do this year?
I'm going to clean off that desk of mine at home. That's finally I will get that desk organized.
No, but that's sort of resolution-y, and you've said you've failed at that before. Do you guys
This year's the year.
Do you guys have genuine things that you're like, in 2018 I'm going to... Because I've got one that I'm
retire.
Really?
No.
We will never be able to afford to retire.
No.
That goes for a lot of our listeners as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a tropical vacation.
Really?
I think. I hope.
Yeah.
It's what I plan.
Working on it.
Yeah.
I think Sue and I might be going to Hawaii.
Cool.
For our 20th anniversary.
That's nice.
That's in April?
April, May-ish.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
877-602-9696. Is this the year you're going to go to Nepal? Is this the year you're finally going to fully commit to Buddhism? What is 877-602-9696? What are you going to do this year?
We had a couple of texts, but then everybody started texting about the obituary. So
I'm finishing the home Stedman in 2018. I will completely have renovated both the inside and upstairs and downstairs of my house. That's something I want to be done with this year so I can just live there and enjoy it.
This is the year I will write my own obituary.
Ooh.
You really should do that. Yeah. I think I'll do it this year.
Okay. Keep us up to date
I'm gonna
on
make it
that
a project, and when I get it done, I'll read it to you.
Keep us up to date on that.
Interesting.
Let's see. This year I'm going to move out of my apartment complex and avoid having my car stolen for the third time.
Ugh.
There's a couple of calls coming. Can we take one quick call before we break?
I'm planning on traveling to the Philippines. There's
That's
one.
cool.
Oh, I'd love
Finally
to do that.
getting new teeth. There's one.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good
life-changing.
Let's see. Let's go to Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Melanie, hi. What are you going to do
Hello.
What are you doing in 2018?
I am planning a trip to Jamaica for my daughter to get married.
Does your daughter want to get married in Jamaica?
Yeah, she kind of made us all get married and have her go get married in Jamaica.
What? Huh?
So she said, "Hey, we're getting married there."
I'm getting married in Jamaica. You better get there. I'm like, okay.
Is she marrying a Jamaican?
No, she's not. She's marrying a guy from New York.
Yeah, well, good for her. That sounds fun.
And then we're going to the Grand Canyon. I'll get to see that.
That's a long ways away from Jamaica. You're closer to the Grand Canyon right now than.
Yeah, you think?
There you go.
Have you never been there before?
I've never been to the Grand Canyon.
You'll
no.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
Okay.
so beautiful.
Are you going to go down into the Grand Canyon?
No, we're riding motorcycles, so we won't be going down in.
All right.
But
cool.
2019, I'm going to try and do rim to rim. That's my goal.
Oh, that'd be fun.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you.
Chat room. My wife and I are having our first baby in July.
Congratulations.
Let's see. Heading to Amsterdam and Lisbon in May.
Oh, Amsterdam.
Going to Thailand with a side of Cambodia.
I'd love to do that too.
2018 plans celebrating the end of the worst thing that ever happened to Utah, Orrin Hatch. Well, wow.
Make sure we get an invite.
Yeah, let us know how that goes.
Quick traffic.
Hang on the line, by the way,
Yes.
877-602-9696. Eddie and Chris, hang on. We'll get to you in a minute.
Southbound I-15 at 8200 South, causing only 5 minutes delay there, probably because someone wasn't driving a little slower because there's water on the road. That's your look at traffic.
If you're out there in traffic, slow down. But if you do get into an accident and you don't know what to do, if you're hurt, if you're injured, we'll tell you. Call the advocates.
Oh, yeah. They can walk you through everything what to do. They can tell you if you have a case or not. You might need them to get money from your own insurance company, let alone the other person's insurance.
They have over 20 years of experience. The advocates, they're not going to be kind of experimenting on your case. They know what they're doing. Some of their attorneys are former defense attorneys, which means they know the tricks the insurance companies might try to play on you.
Mm-hmm.
So they are great. Now, the advocates, we really enjoy their company when we go and have lunch with them, Matt and all of the guys over there and the women. They're very caring people. They do want to get you a good settlement, and you don't have to pay any money up front.
Oh, yeah. You can talk to them for free, find out if you have a case.
Mm-hmm.
They will only take money unless they get you a settlement.
Yeah, so if they take your case and get you a settlement, then they'll take a little portion of that. So if you're hurt in an accident, call the advocates, 801-355-5550, or go to their website. There's a chat feature there, UtahAdvocates.com.
We know that live music on the beach is a hell of a lot better than suffocating under the inversion.
My question is, and this is for you parents, is I didn't know that they still did these.
Oh, yeah.
The daddy-daughter
Mhm.
dance,
Mhm.
and there's a mommy-son
Mhm.
dance.
Yeah.
I didn't know they still did these.
Yeah.
These seem
No, they're sweet.
creepy.
No, they're sweet. They're really
No, I don't know. You're not watching Bates Motel with me.
That's your problem. You're skewed. You're skewed with the Bates family.
Well, they're just they're
Because Carrie, that's all it is.
Tell
is
me
a dance.
Well, tell me what they. What is it?
It's
Tell
just
me.
meant to be. It's meant to be an evening where father and daughter, who may not necessarily interact all the time, because the dad's at work and it's the mom who takes care of things, and so it's just so they just go to the dance, and there's punch and cookies.
It's cute.
Yeah.
You get dressed up, and it's a nice.
Why do you think
evening
it's
out.
creepy?
You don't think it sends a weird message?
No.
No.
Because you do the exact same activity with a boy. You know, the boy you're dating. It's the exact same activity, the prom, right?
Well, except it's
or the
except
harvest
there's a-
dance.
Except
or
there's a
whatever.
different intent.
And this is no different than
No, there's a different intent. If you're taking a girl to the prom, you'll want to after the prom get with her in the back seat of the car,
Oh.
and in the daddy-daughter dance, that never would even occur to you.
Well,
I mean, really.
No, Carrie. Okay, do you think this is cute?
All right.
When dads that have little girls and the little girl wants to have a little tea party, and she invites daddy to the tea party, and they say,
That's. I'm not
Well,
getting laid
kids-
at the end of a tea party.
Kids shouldn't be.
"Well, it doesn't have to go there." It's
Well,
just
no,
nice.
but that's what the dance is all
see,
about.
That's what's in Carrie's mind.
See, anytime I went to a high school dance, my goal at the end was to at least
Okay.
make out.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, Carrie, I went to lots of dances where that never happened.
Gina, that's
Well,
that's
that's
you.
a bad example.
Gina, that's you. You're a bad
I
example.
just went to dances where it was just about the dance, and
no,
we went out to dinner, and that was the end of it.
Gina, the guy you were with, that was not what it was all
Not
about.
all guys think
Yes.
that way. Any
Yes,
dance
they do.
ever. That's
Ye-
that's
yes.
the purpose of
Yes.
going to a dance.
Yes.
No.
Okay, you see my point about the daddy-daughter.
No, because it's a daddy. It's not. It's the kid's
See,
dad, not
okay,
a
well,
date.
The real reason we should stop doing the daddy-daughter and the mommy-son
Yeah.
Mm.
is because this is the age of Disney. At least one of the parents are dead or divorced or something.
Be a part of the Radio from Hell show on X96. Call 877-602-9696 or text us at 33986. Message and data rates apply.
And those are the contact numbers for the X-Poll.
Yes, 877-602-9696, or you can text in 33986. The question is, what are you doing this year? What are you going to do? What, like somebody here in the chat room, I think it is, says, I lost 125 pounds, and this is the year I'm going to run my first 5K.
Congratulations. That's awesome. This whole expo is brought to you by Upon Qualification, buy a new home with New Dwello's Gift of Equity program, a gift that could mean up to $8,740 for the purchase of that new home. Text the word money to the number 62687.
All right.
Phones are, there's a couple of people on the line. On line 2 is Chris.
Yeah, let's go to Eddie first.
Okay, Eddie.
The computer has decided that that's what we will do.
Hi, Eddie.
Eddie.
How's it going?
Great. What are you going to do in 2018? What's the big plan?
I am finally going to take my wife to Hawaii.
Finally.
Which island are you going to?
I don't know yet. I've got to get all the plans set, but we finally saved up enough money that we can do it.
So this is something that you've wanted to do for a long time, huh?
Well, yeah, I was supposed to take her for our 3-year anniversary, our 5-year anniversary, our 7-year anniversary, and this year is our 10-year anniversary, and I'm finally going to be able to do it.
Well, that's
Nice
great.
work.
So you haven't been a slacker. You just haven't been able to get the funds together until now.
That's right.
All right. Well, congratulations.
If you have questions about it, because I've been to most of the Hawaiian Islands, if you want some advice or tips or any of that kind of stuff, I can at least give it from my perspective.
Molokai? Have you been to Molokai?
That is one of 2 that I have not been to.
I would have thought you'd go to the leper colony first.
Right.
You can send me an email. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank
you. Let's go to Chris. Hello, Chris. We got a line open, 877-602-9696. Chris?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, yeah, I decided I'm going to buy an electric bike to commute to work on.
Yeah, I keep thinking about getting one of those. I've seen some that are really interesting and great. Have you decided on what kind?
Well, I've been researching the hell out of it for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, and the more I research it, the more I go back and forth. It's, there's a lot of little this and that you can do.
Well, there are a lot of options,
right now,
that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's tons of options. I used to commute on my road bike a couple of years ago, but I had to quit because I was seeing a patient on my way to work, and I couldn't show up all dripping all sweaty. So
yeah,
I can't picture what the electric bikes look like.
They look like most of them look like bicycles.
They look like bikes.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're a little.
The motors.
Go ahead.
Yeah, motors are right in the hubs of the wheels on most of them. Some of them are what called mid drives, where the motor's right at the cranks, where the pedals are at. But they have a battery on them in the frame, and that's it. Otherwise, they look like bikes.
So what you're going to get, you will get a pedal assist electric bike, right? So the what, like if you're going up a hill, you pedal, and that makes that engages the engine, the little electric engine, more and more, and it gives you a good boost up the hill. So you're still getting some exercise.
All right,
but
How far is your commute?
30 miles.
Okay, so you'd need a little something. Otherwise, like you said, you'd be dripping wet.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So will you email me, bill@x96.com, some of the research you've done, and that'll help me kind of make some decisions on my own. That'd be great. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks.
Okay, let's see. Felicity says, I'm going to New York with my friend. I've never been. I'm ready for the culture shock. Let's see. I'm going to learn how to ice skate.
Cool.
Okay. I'm going to gain the ability to touch my toes.
Working on flexibility? That's cool.
Okay.
I wonder why the sudden decision to learn to ice skate.
That's interesting.
My uncle did that, and now he's a 55-year-old guy who goes every morning to ice skating out in Cottonwood Heights. Never had done it before he turned 45.
This year I'm going to sell my house, divorce my husband, and live on my own for the first time in my life. I'm so excited.
Go, baby,
Good
go.
luck for that. Good luck.
Get rid of that bum.
3PO, my friend 3PO, says, I'm going to build a fallout shelter.
Well, that's optimistic.
Oh, that reminds me. Ed Brass has texted in what he's going to do. He says he's going to make September 50 the most gigantic September ever.
Okay.
And number 2, after the nuclear war, I will become Utah's Immortan Joe. Oh, that's exciting.
Good.
That's
and our consultant, the all-knowing suit, says that his goal in 2018 is to get rid of the disturbed version of Sounds of Silence in our playlist.
Off the radio.
Just get that out of there.
All right. People either really love that song or really hate it.
I just detest it.
I have not met a person yet who goes, yeah.
I detest it.
Let's see. This is Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Go ahead.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Fine.
Well, thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just commuting to work right now.
All right. What are you going to do this year?
I'm going to turn 40, and I'm going to graduate with my associate's degree in mortuary science.
Oh, cool. That's right. Good for you.
Bravo. Bravo.
Good for you.
You and the dead.
Thank you.
You and the dead.
Yeah.
That'll be great. All right, Tracy. Congratulations.
We'll see you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. 2018, I'm going to do a 10-day solo trip to Australia.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm setting the goals. Oh, setting goals is the first step towards failure. But remember, do not try. Well, how does it go?
Do or do not, there is no try.
Thank you. Yoda. Let's see. The caller looking to get an electric bike. My old roommate had one and swears by it. Okay.
They're expensive, though. They're way more expensive than I thought.
You can, you get an electric bike that you don't have to do nothing. You can just sit on it and it'll go. But there's a very elderly woman I met at the grocery store, and she had an electric bike. I mean, by elderly, I mean she was probably 80.
Okay.
And she said, "Oh yeah, I go all around town on this. I shop on." And she got on the thing with her bags loaded with groceries, and she just took off like a shot.
Let's see. My husband will be away for at least half of the year because he enlisted in the Army at the end of last year and swore into active duty at the beginning of the year. So what I'll be doing is making myself busy. 12 to 13 and a half hours of work for 3 days and 10 hours of school for 3 days. The only day I have free will be Sundays, and that's for cleaning and getting ready for the next week. Boy, I'm exhausted just reading that.
In 2018, I think I'm going to finally try and figure out who the all-knowing suit is.
You know, and I don't think I want to know.
I do.
I thought I wanted to know, but now I don't think I want to know.
I'd like to. You know what? I'd like him to call in.
People will call in and just say they are.
Well, I'd like it. You know, he'd probably have to put some distortion on his voice.
Let's see. I'm having my first child in 3 weeks. Wish me luck. Oh, here's an interesting one. I'm going to get a small Jersey cow and learn to make cheese.
I like that. I'm going to get a small cow.
And learn to make cheese.
I wonder, really? Is it now? Are you
That's
just
awesome.
joking, or is that true?
I got the feeling that it was for real.
I hope so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, that's a good place to end, I think.
Bring us some cheese.
Have some of your cheese, buddy.
Got traffic here, and we got Boners Round 1 coming up.
Yep.
You ready for traffic?
Yeah, I'm just looking. Hennifer, Emory, let's see. Here we go. 8400 West and 3800 South out in Magna. There is an accident there causing between 5 and 10 minute delay. And that's it as far as traffic goes. But the cameras indicate that the roads are wet a little bit, so slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make yourself be an accident this morning. That's traffic.
Boners Round 1 coming up. Here are your boner candidates. Number 1, well, you know, it's their genetics in that.
Oh, I'm glad you found that one.
Boner candidate number 2, that'll make him listen to me. And boner candidate number 3, it was a huge spider. I had to do it.
All right, Boners Round 1, Big Boy News and Opinionuendo, all happening next. Stand by like 4 minutes. Attention, Utah residents. It's time again for the Radio from Hell Film Festival.
It's simple, easy, fun, and you could win $1,000.
Follow these 4 simple guidelines.
Include a flag of the United States of America in your film.
Include the phrase, in your area.
Make your film 5 minutes or less.
Less. Turn your film in by February 12th at 5 p.m.
Complete contest rules are available at x96.com. Make your film and win $1,000 from Radio from Hell, the Radio from Hell Film Festival on X96.
Check out the best freestyle skiing athletes in the world as they compete at the 2018 Visa Freestyle International World Cup at Deer Valley Resort.
Humans have left the lonely confines of planet Earth and have sought their destiny among the stars. While many things have changed, one constant remains: the need for young men to venture forth and do the work of the Lord. This is the tale of 2 such men who at the age of 19 have answered the call of their vision and are embarking on a 2-year mission to spread the gospel throughout the galaxy. This is the story of Space Elders. We begin our drama at the Space Bus Depot in Provo as our fine young missionaries to be, Lehigh Christiansen and Laron Butch Jensen, arrive in Happy Valley and await transportation to the MTC.
Hi, I'm Lehigh Christiansen.
If you want to try to get rid of your glasses or contacts and you've been told you're not a candidate for LASIK,
no, I mean getting your mission call.
Well, it was either this or a stint in the Space Marines. This way I'm out in 2 years and my parents are still happy.
I've been waiting for this day since I was 8. I've been putting galactic credits into my missionary fund for the past 11 years. I can't wait to get into the field and start finding people to convert.
Wow, you sure are in the right place. My folks promised me a new land speeder if I found some way to avoid getting sent home early.
Looky, there's a droid over there holding a sign with my name on it.
That must be our escort to the MTC.
I am Decon 1. If you will follow me, I will show you to the MTC and get you settled into your quarters there.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Later, we find our strapping young lads in the midst of their indoctrination. Butch has just been told that he will have Lehigh as his companion for the next 2 years.
Hey, wait a minute. 2 years with this guy?
You don't seem overly enthusiastic about the prospect of spending 2 years with me.
I'm not.
Well, I think it's a keen idea.
If you two are through, I would like to commence with your indoctrination. Here at the MTC, you will be given memory-enhancing implants. At the same time, a universal translating device will be placed inside your skull. You'll be outfitted with the latest in missionary technology, a laptop computer which contains the Bible, Book of Mormon, Pearl of Great Price, and the Doctrine and Covenants. It also serves as a holo projector to allow you to show your prospective converts those wonderful animated tales from the Book of Mormon, which have been loved by millions for centuries. You will also be issued a Mark 32 10-speed bicycle with hyperdrive and one of those cute luggage racks on the back. These bikes are capable of warp 9.3 and have a cruising radius of over 270 parsecs. You will be shown how to properly care for your hyperbike, and you will be responsible for its upkeep. Any questions?
Yeah. Implants? Like inside my head?
Yes.
Keen, when do we start?
Will Butch let the fine folks at the MTC put equipment in his head? Will Lehigh volunteer to do it for them if it'll get him into the field faster? Does the Mark 32 Hyperbike come with a luggage rack standard, or is it a dealer add-on? Tune in next time for the answers to these questions and to hear our elders say...
What you doing, Butch?
Reprogramming my name badge so that instead of Elder LaRon Jensen, it reads Butch.
I think the manual prohibits tampering with the MTC issue equipment.
I'm sure it does. Hey, you want to help me put some fender flares on my bike?
On our next kidney-wrenching episode of Space Elders.
X96.
All right, 7:19. Time now for round one of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote, of these 3, which is the worst. Of these 3, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's got a 50-50 chance. Goes up against the winner of round 2. That happens at 8:20, Boner Fight at 9:20. 2 candidates now, then a 3rd candidate after the big boy news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
a Can't Buy It, Gotta Win It Radio from Hell boner t-shirt courtesy of Excel Automotive Repair. Their Radio from Hell's official auto mechanics. Don't buy a lemon. Try Excel Automotive's $50 bumper-to-bumper used car checkover before you buy. Limit 2 cars per $50.
Boner candidate number 1. Well, it's our genetics in that. Well, Kansas lawmaker thinks that marijuana should be illegal, and he thinks it should be illegal because he says black people are genetically unable to handle the effects of marijuana.
Okay.
State Representative Steve Alford spoke out on Saturday against legalizing pot using the type of racist logic commonly heard when Reefer Madness was considered a serious documentary.
Yep.
What you really need to do is go back in the 30s when they outlawed all types of drugs in Kansas and across the United States, Mr. Alford said. One of the reasons why, and I hate to say this, was that the African Americans, well, they were basically users, and they basically responded the worst off to those drugs just because of their character makeup and their genetics and that.
Jesus. It's 2017.
Not for this guy.
2018.
Yeah.
I'm still writing 2017 on my checks.
Kansas is one of
He's
the few
still writing
states.
checks.
Kansas is one of the few states that still hasn't legalized some form of medical marijuana. The Telegram pointed out, this the newspaper, pointed out that Mr. Alford's comments appeared to be based on the theories of Harry Anslinger, the founding commissioner of what was then called the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, which was behind the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. Mr. Anslinger thought that marijuana, particularly the blacks were getting all hopped up and jazzed up on marijuana. Reefer, he said things like, reefer makes darkies think they're as good as white men.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the quote from the 30s, yeah.
Anslinger.
Yeah.
He was a federal government official.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 100,000 total marijuana smokers in the U.S., and most of them are Negroes, Hispanics, and Filipinos, and entertainers. Their satanic music, jazz, and swing result from marijuana use. That's Harry Anslinger back in the 30s.
And so that's who this guy here was quoting.
Mr. Alford is very much like it. There are certain groups of people, their genetics, the way their makeup is, the chemicals affect them differently. Now, what I should have said was drugs affect people differently instead of being more specific.
Jeez.
I should have said people instead of, Africans. I should have said some people. On Monday, Mr. Alford denied that his remarks were racist. To me, it's neutral.
What?
I mean, basically, I got called a racist, which I'm really not.
No,
and
you are.
No, it's just, Mr. Jackson, it is just the way people, the interpretation of people. To me, I'm trying to look at what's really the best for Kansas.
You're a racist. You can't say that what you said.
No, I'm not.
I don't know how you look at your statement, read that aloud, and then look me in the eye.
Listen, I just shouldn't have said African Americans. I should have said there are certain groups of people.
Just certain groups. See, if you veil it, it's
whose
okay.
genetics.
Yeah.
Well,
groups.
if you veil it, I'm going to ask you, who are you speaking about specifically? Because we're talking about laws here, and I think we need to be specific.
And I would have responded, I think we all know.
Yeah.
Boner candidate.
You know.
Number one. It's their genes in that. Here's boner candidate number two.
Wow.
That'll make him listen to me. An Arizona woman facing charges after police say she fired some shots at her husband while he was sitting on the toilet. Why did she do that? To make him listen. 69-year-old Linda Jean Fawn recently was arrested following a frantic call from her husband. He told the police that Ms. Fawn had barged in while he was sitting on the can and fired 2 shots above his head. According to a police report, Fawn told officers, I shot 2 bullets at the wall above his head. I want to make him listen to me. Police say the shots were fired about 7 inches above the man's head as he was slouched on the toilet. Wow. Ms. Fawn has been charged with aggravated assault. Boner candidate number 2. That'll make him listen to me. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. It was a huge spider. I had to do it.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round 1. Coming up after this here, Big Boy News and Opinioendo brought to you by
Haster Games. They're having a pre-release for Magic the Gathering's latest set, Rivals of Ixalan? Is that right?
Ixalan.
Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday at 4 p.m. And don't miss the From sale on Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day with 15 to 20% off. Located at 6831 South State Street and online at HasterGames.com. Haster has it.
Thank you.
David Worsley was in Africa and caught a strain of salmonella. He was in Tunisia, actually, and he caught this African salmonella, a strain of the infection, which went into his genital area. And you know what it did? His testicle exploded like a volcano.
Oh, my gosh.
The grandfather was in agony as his private swelled to 10 times their normal size when he got home. His left testicle then burst as he had a bath. Ouch! He said, I was told that I had a rare form of salmonella called African salmonella. After the holiday, my testicle had swollen to the size of a grapefruit. It was so heavy, and it was like it was made of glass. The pain was so bad I thought I was going to die. When it finally exploded, I actually felt fantastic. It was such a relief. The doctor said I was highly contagious and that I wasn't allowed to sleep with my wife. Well, who wants to sleep with a wife who has a testicle, or what wife wants to sleep with a guy who has a testicle the size of a grapefruit? I don't think that's,
There's probably fetish people out there.
But he said when it exploded, it literally went bang.
Just a suggestion from someone who knows. Don't wait for your testicle to get the size of a grapefruit.
Well, I know it caught in the bath.
Might I suggest a lime?
What do you know, Carrie?
And this is a weird story too. Flying foxes. You know what they are? They're particular, I think, to Australia mostly. They're very large bats.
Oh, yeah.
But they look.
They got red fur and
they look like red or sometimes brown.
Yeah.
They're different, but they do look like foxes with wings.
They got a pointy face.
Yeah. Thousands of flying foxes in Australia fell from the sky after being boiled alive in the Australian heat wave. There's a picture here of them, just piles of them. The animals fell from trees as they were boiled alive in temperatures exceeding 104 degrees Fahrenheit in Campbelltown in New South Wales. Animal welfare volunteers battled to save the lives of hundreds of baby flying foxes and some adults in distress, but the death toll is believed to be in the thousands. If you go to x96.com/live, that's just one small pile.
And that looks like a pile of about maybe 40 or 50.
Yeah, there's a larger picture that just shows more and more piles of them. Hundreds of young flying foxes lost to the heat yesterday. The final count could run to the thousands. So you think, well, why would anyone care other than, it's the death of these flying bats. Well, they're very, very good things to have around for the environment. They eat bugs, detrimental bugs, and all of that kind of thing. So, an ex-BYU student, this guy back in the news. So he was the guy who said he liked to make soap.
Yeah, remember, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He was in, I want to say, Rain Tree Apartments down. It's BYU on-campus housing. They said, hey, roommate's kind of sketchy, but he says he's just making soap.
Yep. No, well, he wasn't making soap. He was making meth. He's now been convicted and jailed for making meth again inside of his student apartment in Provo. So Brian Kazir pleaded guilty Friday to a reduced second-degree felony count of attempted operation of a clandestine lab. He was sentenced to only 24 months probation. I don't know why that.
Originally.
Let's see. He was charged August 6, 2016 in 3rd District Court attempting to operate a clandestine lab. He was arrested in May of 2016, in the apartment complex where he lived. Police were questioning him, and they reported seeing a list on the table that included sulfuric acid, Sudafed, ice-cold burst packs, and Prestone. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to make these blue-colored soap crystals."
Yeah,
that's
sure
what it is. Yeah, it's crystal.
Well, it's the only skill I have. It's a trade, really.
Yeah. So he's done it again, and he's been arrested again. Yep.
Who's being roommates with this guy? That's because the second time in Sugar House, right?
Is that what it is?
Is where he was arrested. Like, to me, I just, who are you? Right? I feel like you Google your roommate.
Is there an Amy's list of roommates?
Yeah.
There should be.
Yeah, if there's not, there should be. But at least, at the very least, I Google Kerry Jackson. Okay, so nothing on his, he doesn't come up in a news report. Good. There's at least that basis of thing. I don't know.
Well, he's been taken out of circulation again. Let's see. So a California man fell while exploring Utah's longest cave near Vernal.
Oh.
And he fell and was injured. It took them 12 hours. To rescue him from this cave. The man and his friends were exploring Little Brush Creek Cave, which is in the Ashley National Forest near Dinosaur National Monument. He slipped and fell about 50 feet. Lucky he wasn't killed. He broke both of his arms.
There's a picture at x96.com/live.
That's the opening of the cave and one of the rescue workers. These aren't easy caves. There are some technical parts. There are some areas that are pretty sketchy, said Sheriff's Corporal Brian Fletcher. It took one of the man's friends about an hour to get back to the cave entrance. So that's a lot of cave. He was able to call 911, had to free climb 2 sections of the cave that were approximately 50 feet high to get there.
Wow.
So apparently, I think these guys were fairly experienced. I think they were in there with ropes and, climbing gear, exploring this cave. Rescuers had to rappel into several areas to get to the injured man. It took them 12 hours to get him out. Donald Trump went to the national championship game in where did
I don't know where it was.
Did
actually,
they play it in Alabama?
It was
no, it wasn't a home.
Was it a neutral field?
It was in the Mercedes-Benz field, as I recall. I thought it was odd that it was a Mercedes-Benz field in the South.
It was in Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
President Trump did not appear to sing all of the national anthem. Clips of Trump began to circulate on social media as people noticed the president was not singing the anthem in its entirety during the game's opening ceremony. Trump stood on the field for the anthem before the Alabama Crimson Tide and Georgia Bulldogs played, but only appeared to sing parts of the song. Viewers focused on the president because of his fervent criticism of NFL players who have chosen to take a knee during the anthem in protest of racial inequality.
Exactly.
Trump implicitly called Colin Kaepernick, the former San Francisco's 49ers quarterback who began the movement in 2016, a son of a bitch. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, "Get that son of a bitch off the field right now, he's fired," Trump said in August. Trump called on NFL fans to boycott any games where players knelt during the anthem. And then he doesn't sing all of the anthem. Now, I didn't watch the clip.
I watched the clip, yes.
Yeah. And what is the...
It's hard for me to be objective about the national anthem because I always have that running gag where it's nobody knows the words to the national anthem. And it's a little contest that I like to throw at people. And most of the time, they don't know the words to the national anthem.
Do I know them?
But it is true that he, as president, should know them.
Well, yeah.
And the fact that he's making a big issue about the taking a knee thing makes it even better. If the anthem is so important to him, like he keeps saying, then he should know the words.
What does he do? Does he just stop singing at
some
point?
He says, he's like the last words of every sentence. It's like,
"Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming."
Here it comes. Here's
Am
the
I
big
right?
one. Yep, keep going.
That was the hard part.
Oh, say does that star-spangled... No.
And the rockets...
Oh, and red glare, bombs are bursting in air.
The bombs bursting in air.
If I had not stopped, I think I probably would have gotten. Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free, or the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Yeah. I see. Bill knows it.
I know it.
Most of the people who are upset about the take the knee thing, most of them
probably don't know it.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a hard. It's a hard song to sing.
It's not a good anthem,
and it's also, it's I think as it's written and you read it, it's kind of poetic and it goes together, but it doesn't flow logically.
Well, and there's some racist stuff in the third verse as well.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I don't. There are a bunch of. There are like 6 or 7 verses, aren't there?
Oh, I can't remember how many exactly, but I know around the third verse it gets racist.
We'll look it up and bring you that in just a moment. You're looking it up right now, Richard?
I am.
Yeah. Let's see. How are we doing time here?
We probably ought to weather and traffic and get to round 3 or.
Number 3?
Yeah, number 3 in round 1.
High today because there's a storm of about 47 degrees, so warmer than it would normally be. Storms from the south, that's why that's happening. But it'll rain. It'll rain throughout today. As it gets colder overnight tonight, you may see some snow in the benches, certainly up in the canyons, which is great for people wanting to ski and stuff like that, and then some AM rain and snow tomorrow morning. But after that, we stay low 40s through the weekend, and it should be pretty clear. The thing that's nice about this, if you're cursing the rain right now, it's trying to keep the smog and the pollution out of the air. So be grateful for a little bit of it and drive slow, respect it. Let's do traffic, brought to you by looking for a great deal on a used smartphone but don't want to meet a creepy guy in a parking lot. Bad Apple repairs, buys, sells, and trades in smartphones. And unlike the guy in the parking lot, Bad Apple guarantees them. They have 10 locations at badapplerepair.com. As I look at traffic, we have a crash, State Street and 445 South up in Clearfield. That is your only accident that you have to worry about. That's traffic.
All right, here comes boner candidate number 3. It was a huge spider, huge. I had to do it. I don't know why these stories keep popping up, but here it is again. A Northern California man determined the best way to exterminate a spider ended up setting fire to his apartment on Sunday in Redding, California. It was a huge wolf spider, said Lindsay Wise Garver, a caregiver to one of the residents of the apartment that caught fire. Mr. Wise Garver told the paper that another resident used a torch-style lighter to try to kill the spider after spotting it in an upstairs bedroom. Well, the flame did not kill the spider instantly because it was huge.
Oh, there's a picture there.
Yeah, there's a picture of the
x96.com/live
burnt-out apartment complex. The spider reportedly ran onto a mattress while it was a flaming spider, ran onto a mattress.
That's a big spider.
Set the mattress on fire.
Sure.
Mr. Wisegarver said the fire also spread to the drapes in a flag collection.
Someone stop the spider.
I think we better take the flags down in here. It's a fire hazard. After tenants failed to put out the blaze using a garden hose, Redding firefighters responded, managed to extinguish the fire before it spread to other units. Boner candidate number 3. It was a huge spider. I had to do it.
All right. Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, well, it's their genetics and that. You know what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Well, it's, there's...
Who are you speaking of?
Certain people.
Who?
I think you know who I mean.
No, who?
Groups. Certain groups of people.
Well, like people who weigh
Africans, okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Them Africans. That marijuana...
It affects them differently.
It affects them differently, says a Kansas lawmaker. I'm just trying to protect the people of Kansas.
Sure.
I am.
You're not a racist, right?
No, I'm trying to protect the people of Kansas from marijuana because, certain groups of people smoke it, and then they'll commit crimes on the other people of Kansas.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
No.
You know.
I don't.
Yeah, Africans.
That's racist.
Yeah. What? I'm not a racist. Boner candidate number 2, that will make him listen to me. A wife shooting at her husband who was on the toilet. She said, I shot at him to make him listen. And boner candidate number 3, it was a huge spider. I had to do it.
All right, here we go. This is round 1 of your boner voting. You've got to decide which of these 3 candidates is the worst. Which one deserves to go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight to possibly become Boner of the Day. If it wins here, it's got a 50-50 chance. Goes up against the winner of round 2. Round 2 happens at 8:20. And then we throw them both into Boner Dome for Boner Fight at 9:20 to decide who is Boner of the Day. So decide now. 1, 2, or 3 in round 1. Which one of these should win? Put the candidate number of the one you think should win in the message of a text. Don't spell it out. Just put the number. That's all we need. And then text that to 33986. You can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Round 1, January 9, and vote there. If you don't see that box refresh, it'll appear. 4.5 minutes. Let's go.
X96 is Utah's original alternative with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding coming up right after Radio from Hell.
Program, Carrie and Bill. And let's see, it's time to check out the answering machine. Have you...
Yeah, go ahead and access it. We have an answering machine here at work because, well, we don't like personal calls at home. I use my phone at home for outgoing calls only.
Hi there, you've reached the offices of Carrie and me, Bill, the Radio from Hell guys. And if you have anything to say to us, we're not picking up, so wait for the beep.
Usually these calls come in after hours. I mean, after we're not here,
Yeah,
that is.
after like 1 or 2.
It's rewinding.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Allred. This is Dr. Arnold's office calling.
Oh.
I have what I hope is good news for both you and Samantha. Samantha's definitely pregnant.
Hey.
She's a very healthy bitch, so we anticipate no problems. She's about a month along.
Good.
So she should deliver in about 2 months. Office will be open until 5 p.m., so please try to pick her up before then. We'll have her well-groomed and ready to go.
Well-groomed?
I didn't tell you guys I got a
Thank
Chihuahua,
you.
did I?
It's a Chihuahua.
It's a little. I got a new little dog.
Oh, they're so cute.
I know you got little beady eyes.
Yeah, they are.
Gonna have
Hi,
pups.
Carrie. This is Libby Weaver from Fox News.
Oh.
Hey, would you stop leaving your underwear in my mailbox?
Again?
If you don't stop, I'm going to have to call the police, Carrie. Bye.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the in vitro fertilization clinic at the University of Utah calling for Ralph Allred. Mr. Allred, we have the sperm sample you left with us yesterday, and, well, I'm not sure what to say here. The sample you left with us, it's not human. Please
Bill,
return our call.
Bill, you're supposed to...
Oh, I didn't understand.
Leave yours. Not... Never mind.
Hi, Carrie. This is Shauna Parsons from Fox News. Listen, you've got to stop leaving your underwear in my mailbox. This is getting absolutely
turn this
ridiculous.
off?
I have
Number
called
two.
the Salt Lake Police,
Could we turn-
and there is a restraining order against you, so wise up.
Can we turn
Bye.
this off, please?
Way to go, Carrie.
None of any...
At it
Bill?
again.
It's Chunga. I got my big toe caught in the
no.
water spout of the tub again, and I can't get it out.
Again?
I've been here for about 2 hours, and I'm lonely, and the water's too cold. Bill, I ran out of beer, and I'm down to my last cigar.
This happens to
Now,
you.
I know you said that last time this happened, you wouldn't help me again, but everybody else has said that too.
That's right.
Can you come over?
No.
Please?
No.
Well, I see...
Make sure you bring some soap, okay?
Well, I see you got out okay.
Well,
I mean...
finally,
Again, you did this.
Mike Summers came and got me out.
Well, how nice of him to
He
do
brought some soap and...
How nice.
Your little sponge bag.
Yeah.
All right.
Carrie, Al Bain from K-Bear calling.
Oh, Al Bain.
Look, do me a favor. Quit leaving your underwear in my mailbox.
We
And I
turn-
know they're yours because I don't know anybody else that wears Ren and Stimpy and Simpsons underwear.
We
So I
turn
know
this
they're
off?
yours. Wouldn't mind as much if they weren't soiled, but quit leaving them there or I'm going to have to call the authorities. See ya.
So the little problem is back, eh?
I was wondering what that was in my mailbox, Carrie.
Way to go.
You're sick.
Nightfall.
Carrie Jackson, Bill Allred, Gina Barberi. Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, Jim de Bacchus is going to be here at 8 o'clock.
You can hear him coming.
Yeah. He'll be here at 8 to talk about this little project he's working on.
All right.
But let's award round 1 of your boner voting right now.
And round 1 of the boner voting is brought to you in part by a delicious pesto and smoked salmon pasta.
And by TGIT, thank gosh it's Tuesday.
What?
That's what this says. Okay. Celebrate at Gracie's this evening with Geeks Who Drink trivia from 6:30 to 8:30, followed by live music from Meter Cat at 9. Like Gracie's on Facebook for updates, adults only.
So boner candidate number 1 was, it's their genetics in that. It's Africans. That's what the Kansas lawmaker said. We can't legalize marijuana here in Kansas because certain group of people,
Oh, who?
The Africans.
That's racist.
I'm not a racist. I'm just referring to the chemistry and the genetic makeup.
Oh, is that right? You have scientific studies on that?
I've read them.
From the 30s.
I've seen them. Anyway, he says marijuana affects African Americans differently.
He had the gall to come out the next day and say, that wasn't racist.
I'm not a racist. I'm just stating the chemistry of it. Anyway, and then boner candidate number 2, that'll make him listen to me. A woman who fired off some gunshots in the bathroom at her husband. She said she did it to make him listen. And boner candidate number 3 was a huge spider. I had to do it. A guy trying to get rid of a wolf spider by setting it on fire. The flaming arachnid. And by the way, the Flaming Arachnids are playing the Warped Tour.
The last Warped Tour.
The Flaming Arachnid set the apartment on fire. The Boner T-shirt winner was Carol, and the winner of the Boner voting by a wide majority of votes, Boner candidate number 1. Well, it's their genetics and stuff. Or, excuse me, it's their genetics and that, is what he said.
People are crediting the win with our performance.
I would have won anyway.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have won.
It was the best one. It wins round 1, and it will go forward to Boner Dome for Boner Fight. It might be Boner of the Day. It goes up against the winner of round 2. Round 2 happens at 8:20. Boner Fight at 9:20. Right?
Yeah. So, yesterday, a couple of days ago, I guess.
Yes.
I called someone in this company who I don't know.
Why did you do that?
For assistance with a certain website. And it's a website that we're supposed to log into. And
log our vacation days? Is it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have problems with that too. Do you even bother,
I don't.
Carrie?
I write it down or I email it to Todd.
Yeah.
But Todd has very explicitly said to us, you need to go to that website.
And it doesn't work for most people.
I can't. Okay. I have trouble with it. And so I couldn't log in.
Do you know anybody who's been able to use it?
And
I know the employees who are not full-time who have to clock in have no problem with that website.
Yeah,
those of us who are full-time employees have tremendous amounts of difficulty with it.
There are people who have to log into it every day.
Right.
Oh.
And put in their, because they're hourly employees.
Okay.
And we very seldom have to do anything with it because, they want us to put our vacation time in. So every time I've tried to do it, I don't know. I just won't. So this time I thought, well, I'm going to go for it, and I logged in what I had saved my password and everything, and so I used it I just couldn't get it to open up, and so there was a phone number that somebody said, call this phone number, and this person, I can't remember her name, and I said, but I won't use it anymore.
People have to remember that our organization is not just on this floor. It's spread out several buildings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and south part of the county. And,
sure.
Of the city.
So it's not like we can just walk down the hall.
So anyway, I called this person, and after several back and forth, I'm not here right now. Please leave a message, and back and forth. Finally, I get a hold of her. And I say, I can't log into this. I just don't. It just never seems to work for me.
I'm trying to be a company man. I'm trying to do this the way that I'm supposed to. It's not working.
It doesn't work for me. I just can't seem to do it. And I think she said, well, do you know your username? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bill.Allred. She said, that's correct. And I said, okay. So the password that I previously remembered using or I've written down or whatever, and it just says, no, you can't log in. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. And she said, well, it's a perfectly fine website. I guess we'd just chalk all of this up to user error then, won't we?
Wow.
Wow. And, I said, yeah, probably. Sure. Why not? That must be it. It must be that I'm too stupid to figure this out.
Don't you know who I am?
And I think she wasn't trying to be mean. She was, but it just kind of came across as.
So did you repeat it? Did you say back to her, yes, it must be?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I said, yeah, well, it must be.
And she said?
I think I'm trying to remember, this was several days ago. I think she kind of, you could hear a little kind of I was being a little harsh in her voice. But do you know who I am? But, I just thought, okay, yeah, it's user error, but how can we fix this? And so she walked me through it, and we got it to work. Now, I should check and see
if it still works.
See if I can get into it now.
Get back in.
Let me I can pop it up.
Don't you know who I am?
Let's see here.
I think that user error comment is used a lot with people in IT and
yeah.
Now
it's a way for them to be dicks without having to saying you're an idiot.
Okay, dummy.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure that she feels that way because the website probably does work just fine, but
she has so many people calling her saying that it doesn't work.
Which would indicate to me that it doesn't work. But
yeah.
So now when I open the website right now, it pops up with my username.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, it's Ralph.Allred.
Okay.
Right. At least there. Well, that was just for my memory. That's what pops up.
All right. Log into the thing.
And
see if you can log in.
And then the password is
tell us.
Apparently there. No, apparently it's there. Okay. It's but it's the dots. So I should be able to just click, right?
Should be.
I should be able to just click on sign in. Let's see. And
drum roll, please.
Yes.
Hey. Nice.
I think. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Congratulations.
I log in there several times a day and never have any problems.
That's because you're an hourly employee. You have to.
I am.
See, she was right. Really, it's those of us who don't use it very often, and the password. You forget your password, although I had it written down.
It's one of those things where the computer system makes you change your password several times a year, every quarter. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is, kind of, it annoys everybody in the world, but all networks do it.
So how do I know that?
You log in less times to this website than you do.
Right.
Or less frequently than you change your password.
So does it? I mean, how do I get alerted that I'm supposed to change my password?
Well, when you come in here and log in to your computer in the mornings, occasionally doesn't it say your password needs to be reset?
The only one that tells me that is mail.
Yeah,
that's the only one that tells me I have to change it, and it's yearly.
Okay.
I mean, I have websites that do that, but I haven't ever. But I don't log into this one enough that it. So it's probably has told me to change my password. And I haven't seen that. And
something. Maybe it's, you know what it is? User error.
Yeah.
Well, Corey's in IT. He says, everything Bill is describing is what I go through with 300 to 100 new employees every January. There's also another term. Instead of user error, there's a PEBCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Or layer 8 issue. Or wetware bug. Or a bio problem.
But you could tell that she was being defensive about the web. She was trying to defend the website.
Yeah, sure.
No, this is a perfectly good website. This is a great website, and you're the one who's effing it up, buddy.
Well, you didn't make the website, so you don't need to defend it. And just accept that some people are having problems with it. Okay? All right. Everyone calm down.
I don't know if it logged my time off or not, though. I couldn't tell whether I went in and then tried to do what I was supposed to do.
You know what you do? Send her an email.
Yeah.
And then she'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's what you do.
Quick look at traffic. There is a crash westbound at 12th Street and Wall Avenue. It is closed the right lane there, and they don't expect to have it cleared up for over an hour, so between 5 and 10 minutes delay in that area. Also, you're seeing your regular slowage as you get south out of the valley around Point of the Mountain and north as you come into the Salt Lake Valley on I-15. It looks as though there's a little bit on I-215, just slowing around 1200 north on southbound I-215 out by the airport. No accident there, but just make sure you're driving slow. Roads are wet. Be careful and arrive to your destination in safety.
Wow, there's a lot of cool stuff on this website.
Yeah.
Is there really?
No.
I didn't think
Pretty
so.
handy, huh?
No.
All right. Coming up in just a few moments, is he here? Jim de Bacchus?
You can't hear him?
I can't hear him.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh, there we go. Jim de Bacchus is here. We're going to talk to him coming up. Stand by. KXRK Provo. There is a brand new episode of Geek Show.
Here's what Kerry Jackson is doing when he's not on the air.
Yes, Mr. Jackson, thank you for coming into my office. As the manager of this department store, it is my job to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And during the Christmas season, that's especially important. We hired you to be our store Santa on good recommendations from your radio station management. But frankly, we've had complaints from many of the parents about your performance as Santa. Now, how do you begin each visit with a child?
Well, first off, I have them shake my hand.
Shake your hand?
Yes, I'm the hand-shaking Santa.
You don't let the children sit on your lap?
No, the hand-shaking Santa wouldn't do that. And do you have any idea how germy little children are? You know what I really hate is that little kid smell. You know the smell I'm talking about.
I see. And then they tell you what they want for Christmas.
Well, after they've shaken my hand, I ask them to write an essay about how good or bad they've been during the year, and then they're asked to list what they want for Christmas. Now, that list is then submitted to one of my elves, and the essay is graded and placed in the hand-shaking Santa essay box.
You have paper and pencils for them in Santa's castle?
No, the hand-shaking Santa does not provide essay materials. If the children are unprepared, it's no concern of mine.
Uh-huh. Well, I think I've heard quite enough.
Oh, fine. My break is just about over, and I still have to disinfect my fingernails and put on a fresh pair of gloves before I have to greet the little vermin again. Get away from the hand-shaking Santa, you dirty, dirty little children.
Oh my God. Miss Johnson, would you call the radio station we hired this Santa from? We need a replacement immediately.
Here's what Bill Allred is doing when he's not on the air.
Ho, 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 ho. Welcome to Santa's castle. Merry Christmas.
Santa, why are you lying on the floor?
I'm the leg wrestling Santa. Tell me what you want for Christmas.
Well, I want the white Power Ranger and the Nerf Ball Zuka.
All right then, Sonny. Lie down here right next to me. You do know how to leg wrestle, don't you?
Oh, yeah, Santa, but couldn't I just sit on your lap?
Oh, no. The leg wrestling Santa wouldn't do that. All right now, Sonny. If you beat me, then you'll get everything you asked for.
Okay.
If not, you'll get a lump of coal in your stocking. And an orange.
Oh.
Here we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Sorry, Sonny. You lose. Get him out of here, would you, my little helpers? Who'll be the next to challenge the leg wrestling Santa?
Why don't you leg wrestle me, Mr. Butthead, jolly old sucky claws?
Aren't you a little old to be leg wrestling Santa?
You're pretty tough with these kids. Let's see you take on someone your own size.
All right, then. You lie down right here. Good. But first, I have to take a leak. Can't leg wrestle on a full bladder, you know. Be right back!
Radio from Hell, proudly giving you incomplete sports and traffic with Gina Barberi on X96.
Speaking of Let's Start Stabbing, one of the boner candidates this hour coming up in round 2 is, I'll stab you down there.
Oh, you found that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, hi, Jim. Jim de Bacchus, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
It's our good friend Jim de Bacchus, who is a state senator here in the state of Utah and likes to declaim loudly and wave his arms.
Visiting with Jim de Bacchus, brought to us by the Sundance Film Festival. It's returning to Utah January 18th through the 28th with screenings in Park City, Salt Lake City, and the Sundance Mountain Resort. Utah locals get early access to tickets one day only. That's Thursday, January 11th, starting at noon. You can go to sundance.org/festival.
Jim, you look relaxed. You look healthy. You look slimmer than the last time I saw you.
Oh, you're too kind. I love being on this show. Thank you for inviting me.
Senator de Bacchus, why are you here? What have you, something about a one-man show?
Look, I love getting out of my comfort zone. Some people like to get to the top of the mountain and ski and do things. This is about the most difficult, horrendous thing I could ever imagine. Me on the stage for an hour, for 75 minutes. I could pontificate endlessly about issues, no problem. Mm-hmm. It's my life. It's been awkward, difficult, because I'm going to tell the truth, and a lot of stuff has come out. It's almost therapy. I haven't been this nervous since the senior prom when Michelle Meekum started moving in on me after the dance, and I got so nervous it about ended my life, and that's what I'm worried about.
Well, so what is this?
I was going to say, most people write a book. How come you decided to do a one-man show instead of a book?
Because I'm a genius, like the president, and I don't know how to write a book.
Are you stable?
I wouldn't go that far.
Jim de Bacchus, he's like really smart.
So this is a one-man show about your life?
Yeah, think of how egotistical. But politicians,
kind of, yeah.
They've turned telling about themselves down to 30-second spots. Mia Love has never had a town hall meeting. As far as I know, she's never met a constituent. And that's the way we're going. And what I wanted to do is I want to go the opposite direction. I want to introduce myself to people. There's no focus groups involved. There's no polling. This is me. This is what I believe. You may not like it, but there it is, all out there.
Now, how can we help you? Because there are people who are going to come to see you do this. And when is this?
This is Saturday at Salt Lake Acting Company, Saturday at 7, and Sunday a matinee at 1, and the 6 o'clock at Salt Lake Acting Company Sunday is sold out. So it's Saturday and Sunday afternoon.
And is it just called Jim de Bacchus?
No, it's called Jim de Bacchus Speaking from My Soul. It goes into a lot of...
So now, but how can we help you get people there who are not your audience? That's what I think would be important.
Yeah,
you're going to be preaching to the choir.
Let's give them some tickets.
You want to give away some tickets?
Yeah, let's give it. Can we do that?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to give the tickets to somebody who said, I don't vote. I wouldn't vote for Jim de Bacchus, or I don't know, or I'm a conservative and I don't like his politics, or I don't like.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah,
more of
them, actually.
I mean them at the grocery store all the time.
So do people come up and talk to you like that?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And but I like that. I never run away from a town hall meeting. I
that's true.
I love it.
Well, now what sort of subjects are you going to? Well, I got to know. Are you going to talk about your radio career in this?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about the radio,
talking about how awful radio is, and what a terrible business it is.
The great mistress passion of my life. I mean, once you're in radio, seriously. But why they kicked me out of BYU. I talk about time in Russia and when I got kidnapped, and I talk about making a fortune and great betrayal. I talk about getting married. I talk about...
I didn't know you... Oh, well, I guess I did know you'd gotten married. You never gotten married at a younger age, did
right?
You?
The first day was allowed. I ran down to the clerks, so...
Your spouse's name is Stephen, right?
Yeah. Wait a minute, you're gay?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be covered in the show as well.
Well, now you let that out.
It's the ending. It's the ending.
But I think that's a fascinating topic, and I've talked to you about that before. But that will be a fascinating part of the show for people to learn what it's like to have to navigate those waters for a long time.
I mean, you've been a very public person for as long as I've known you, and that there were times when that was not okay to talk about.
Absolutely, and I remember in high school, I didn't know anybody gay. There was no television. There was no radio. You looked in the encyclopedia and it said homosexual, and that's all there was. So one day, that table next to me, these guys are talking, and one says, I saw this fag. I saw him at this bookstore, but I didn't catch the name of the bookstore. And I was desperate to just meet anybody from my tribe, anybody.
Which?
And he says, the guy was a hunchback, and I thought, that's a clue.
Yeah.
So I went up to him and I said, hey, Lamont, I've been looking for a book. What was that bookstore? And I spent the next 6 months going to every bookstore I could think of and asking the clerk, I was supposed to meet my friend the hunchback here. This is the way it was in the 70s.
You're getting your gay code wrong here.
That's a great story. And so all of that and more at this one-man show, Jim de Bacchus, A Life.
Right.
Yeah.
They can go to Jim Jabs, Jabs, jimjabs.com. The tickets are there. They're all gone Sunday night, but they're there for Saturday night at 7 and a 1 o'clock matinee. It's only 3 performances, and I doubt it will ever be revived. So
it says that it's a fundraiser. What's a fundraiser for?
Well, one of the evenings is a fundraiser for my political thing because I needed an excuse to have it. Otherwise, what could I just say? I'm doing it.
So just for your campaign.
For my campaign, yeah.
Go to jimjabs, JABS.com. You can buy tickets there. And how many tickets you want to give away here?
Okay, yeah, let's give away 2 for Saturday at 7, and then let's give away 4 to the matinee.
Okay.
Is that good?
Got that?
You guys, I love the show. You're such an institution. You make Utah bearable a lot of mornings. Thank you. I honor this institution.
Right.
877-602-9696, by the way, is the phone number. And Carrie, there are questions there? Is that
just comments, people who just love you.
There was a question I got.
Yes.
Who do you represent? Where is your Senate district?
The People's Republic of the Avenues. I represent Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim is my senator.
Yeah, someone had asked where your particular area was.
Now, when are we going to get started up on the Hill this year?
Yeah, it's coming right up. January 23rd. It's fasten your seatbelts.
Hearing anything?
Big issues?
Yeah, I have 3 quick things I want to get done the first week. Clean air, $1 billion more for education, legalize medical marijuana, and fair redistricting. So I want to get that done the first week so we can get on to the rest of the issues. Alcohol. I want to get rid of this crazy 0.5. So we'll throw that in the first week.
Do you think there's a chance of that?
No.
You bring up alcohol, though. Won't it be an issue with the 3.2%? Will that be this session?
Big issue. It's either it's going to disappear, beer from a lot of shelves, or they're going to deal with it. And I think that they're divided about doing it. You got to understand, there's a lot of legislators that just don't like alcohol. They don't understand it. They don't see any need for it.
Oh yeah.
So if they can get rid of all the beer in convenience stores, they see that as a big plus.
Oh, they don't understand though. The convenience stores will start to close up. That's their biggest part of their
business, and
it will hurt them
losing money.
But it's alcohol. Okay, a few convenience stores close. Look at the good side. We get rid of the vile alcohol.
But the taxes that you collect on it, wouldn't you like that more?
Well, there you go. Starting to talk my business.
I know, right?
How about raises for people in liquor stores who work there?
Yeah.
God.
What are you talking about? 20 years and $9 an hour. Well, how much do they want? Greedy.
They are. They're just greedy.
Well, keep fighting the good fight, Jim.
Okay, thanks,
That's why
you guys.
we love you.
Jim Jabs, Jabs, JimJabs.com. You can buy tickets for that show. Is that the only thing they can do on that website, or is that?
Yeah, that's just ties into the tickets.
Just for the tickets.
Yeah,
And there's a link on all of our social media, so people can just click through and link it that
thanks,
way.
you guys. Look, there's a good shot that this could just be a complete, total train wreck. So it'll either be entertaining or it'll just fall apart, and that'll be entertaining.
Well, that'll be fun, too.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks, Jim.
Okay,
Thank you, Jim. Traffic
brought to you by the Try the Buck and Under menu at Del Taco for the most fresh choices for $1 or less, like 69-cent mini quesadillas, 89-cent burritos, and the new $1 salsa chicken taco. As I look at traffic, southbound I-15 out by Nephi, so that's a ways away. 90th south at 2200 west here in Salt Lake. There is a crash there. They don't expect to have it cleaned up for about 45 minutes, so be aware of that. And southbound I-15 near Pleasant Grove, this is exit 275. There is a crash there on the right-hand side, causing between 10 and 15 minutes delay, so be aware of that.
I wonder if you ever found the gay hunchback. That's what
You got to go see the show.
Yeah, what a weird story.
I want that action figure.
Yeah. All right, here are your boner candidates coming up for round 2. Boner candidate number 1, the coolest monkey in the jungle. Boner candidate number 2, I'll stab you down there. And boner candidate number 3, beer run.
All right, all good candidates for round 2 coming up. Stand by for that. Also, big boy news.
If you need your carpets cleaned,
ZeroRes.com.
Yep.
Had them come before the holidays to my place, and they did the tile upstairs.
Yeah, now, if you're thinking about, maybe you want to shed a little weight in the new year, how about shedding a little bit of weight from your carpets? Do you know, Zero Res wants you to know that there is, how much is it? 40 pounds of dirt can be accumulated in a carpet in a single year.
Which is gross.
That's gross. So start your new year with a fresh, clean home with Zero Res. January marks Zero Res's anniversary, so they're offering throwback pricing. 3 rooms clean for just $89.95. Just like last year, this is the lowest price of the year, and it's only in January. 3 rooms clean for $89.95. Zero Res. They don't use chemicals. They don't use shampoos. It's empowered water, so it dries faster and it doesn't stink.
And they can explain it to you better than we possibly could. I've always had a good experience with them.
So Zero Res, call right now to set up your appointment in January, 801-288-9376. That's 801-288-ZERO. Zero Res.
Squatters and X96 present
Lights, Camera, Brunch.
Radio from Hell with Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi on X96.
All right. Is Gina okay? People are texting.
She got a fever.
Yeah, she's sick.
She's got the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie-woogie flu.
I was actually thinking that exact same thing.
She just tweeted, if you look at her Twitter, at RFH Gina, she says, I have the KSL flu. Her temperature is 102.7.
And as someone tweeted,
I thought her temperature was 1160, but
is the KSL fever the pounding headache from someone repeating the same thing over and over and over
in Amanda Dixon's voice?
In Amanda Dixon's voice.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, time for round 2 of your boner voting. 3 news stories that are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote which of these 3 candidates is the worst. Which one of these 3 candidates deserves to go to Boner Dome for Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. We'll go up against the winner of round 1. Boner Fight happens at 9:20. So decide on these 3. 2 candidates now, then a third after the big boy news. Once you've heard all 3, then you'll vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
the best handshake you've ever had of your entire life from Radio from Hell's own Bill Allred.
Yeah, I had the carpal tunnel on this hand, so I got a good grip. Still have to have it on this one.
See, here's the thing about good handshakes. I still remember when we met Michael Moore, and this was years ago, his handshake. It was because he was heavier then, and it was like a pillow.
Oh,
it was like squishy
yeah.
pillow. And I went, oh.
There are people who don't know how to shake hands either. I mean, it's just like sometimes people, they just sort of put their hand there and you grip it. And
anyway, all right.
Here's boner candidate number 1. The coolest monkey in the jungle. Clothing retailer H&M has apologized.
There it is.
You go to x96.com/live.
Oh, no.
That's a cute kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
The clothing retailer H&M has apologized for an image appearing on its online store that showed a black child model wearing a hooded sweatshirt that said, "Coolest monkey in the jungle."
That is terrible.
The company removed the image on Monday, said it would also pull the shirt from its stores worldwide. The image was widely criticized for its reference to a monkey, an animal that has long been featured in racial and ethnic slurs. The Weeknd, a Canadian pop star of Ethiopian descent, you know who the Weeknd is.
The Weeknd, sure.
Yeah. He has been a spokesperson for H&M, and they've sponsored his tours and things like that. He said I will not work with the company in the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That far?
In a statement, H&M said it agreed with those who were upset about the image. We are deeply sorry the picture was taken. We also regret the actual print. Therefore, we have not only removed the image from our channels, but also the garment from our product offering globally. As of Monday afternoon, the shirt, without the original model image, was still available for sale on the British site. Where H&M is located? It's a foreign company. What is it? It's
there's one at Fashion Place Mall. That's as much as I know.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's a Fashion Place Mall company. Yeah, I know. It's I want to say it's Dutch, but I'm anyway. I don't know how this happened. Really, I don't think it's
Swedish.
Swedish, thank you. I don't think they
meant it. I've heard the phrase "the coolest monkey in the jungle" before. But it's just not tasteless to do that.
It's not thinking it through.
Even if a little white kid had been in the,
you wouldn't. I don't think you'd have a second thought about it if it was a white kid.
Well, no, that's the point.
But
right,
yeah, but it was just not. Carrie's put it the best way. I think they just didn't quite think it all through.
They didn't think it through. They didn't go look at that and go, okay, maybe that's not a good idea.
And that's a boner.
That is a boner.
Boner candidate number 1. The coolest monkey in the jungle.
Because how many people saw that before it went out? You know, how many people had to approve that?
Yeah.
It's not just one person.
So boner candidate number 2, I'll stab you. I'll stab you down there. You know who Elliot Spitzer is, Richie?
Yeah.
Once a powerful man.
Showed his junk. Is that Spitzer?
Well, so
no, that's Wiener. Who?
Yeah, he was caught with whores.
Yeah,
and he was
he was whoring.
He was a tireless campaigner against whoring until he got caught whoring. Elliot Spitzer, who once warned a rival, "I'm an effing steamroller," and promised an ex-hooker a slow and painful death, threatened to stab a restaurant patron in the privates after getting heckled by the stranger. "I'll get an effing knife and I'll stab you right in your effing C." Spitzer screamed at Jamie Antolini. The outburst by the oft-disgraced ex-governor of New York began when he overheard Antolini praising his longtime nemesis, Home Depot founder Ken Langone. I didn't know that they were fighters. They fought. Anyway, Antolini was leaving dinner at a table by the bar in this restaurant in New York when Elliot Spitzer walked in. As the notorious Love Gov walked by, Antolini loudly said to his table mates, "You know, Ken Langone should have been president, and Ken Langone's a great guy." Well, Antolini said the remarks so infuriated Spitzer, who, as state attorney general, clashed with Langone over the New York Stock Exchange CEO Richard Grasso's $139.5 million pay package, only to be publicly roasted by Langone when he quit as governor over his first hooker scandal. Spitzer's had a couple of, or maybe three hooker scandals.
Yeah.
Since
Well, if you're going to
then.
have one, you might as well.
Yeah. Sure. He leaned into me, got in my face, screaming, yelling, "I don't know who the F you think you are, but I'll have you killed," Antolini recalls Spitzer saying. And then he says, "I'll stab you right in the..."
Well, if you read further in the story, I'm not defending
Spitzer.
Spitzer.
Antolini was being a...
Antolini does this to him.
He was being a jerk.
This is not the first time that Antolini has gone after him in public. He's done it before. That being said, yes, Antolini is one of those alpha dicks who looks for a win, you know.
Sure.
But Spitzer shouldn't give in to that. He needs to realize that's exactly what this guy wants. He wants that kind of response. Don't satisfy him. Yeah. Spitzer's smarter than that.
I didn't read to the end of the story. I thought this was just some random guy doing this. He's ribbed Spitzer before.
Yeah, he's gone after him.
But still, in a restaurant,
yes,
it's not wise, Mr. Spitzer, to say, "I'll stab you down there." Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, beer run.
Boner candidate number 3 after this here big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by
Feldman's Deli. It's Utah's only authentic Jewish deli featuring world-class New York corned beef and pastrami, bagels, matzo ball soup, and a variety of specials. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner with live music Friday and Saturday nights. Check out feldmansdeli.com for more information.
The best.
Yeah, I could use a Reuben or like a Sloppy Joe. So the Utah Supreme Court has decided that they're going to take up the legal issue, the thorny legal issue, it says here, involving gender identity and birth certificates. The Utah Supreme Court justices heard arguments Monday in a case brought by 2 people who have tried to get the courts to change their gender on their birth certificate to reflect their gender identity. The impact of that change is widespread, said Angie Rice. If we pull a credit card out in a restaurant and it has a male name on it, or I get stopped at a traffic light and it doesn't appear to be what we see, she told Fox 13, "I've had difficult times in airports too," she said.
Sure.
Rice and Sean Childers Gray had an Ogden judge grant their legal name change back in 2014, but the judge wouldn't change the gender on the birth certificate. Other judges across Utah have ordered birth certificate changes for transgender people with no problems, their attorney, Chris Wharton, said.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They shouldn't be selecting our gender. It should just be standard, said Childers Gray of the legal issue. Justice Thomas Lee acknowledged they were in a brand new frontier. He appeared to be uncomfortable with the fact that the state of Utah has declined to weigh in on the case and whether the court should just rule alone.
Well, and I was going to say, and it gets confusing if one court is doing one thing and another court is doing another thing. There needs to be a standard for sure.
Now, the Utah Attorney General's office has filed papers with the Supreme Court saying, we'll stay out of it. In other words, whatever the court decides, we'll uphold that. So the case raises some important questions of statutory interpretation. There's constitutional questions, said Justice Lee, and we have no adversary briefing. Throughout the arguments, the justices peppered Ms. Wharton with a wide variety of questions, from chromosomes to driver's licenses and insurance. Oh, it's Mr. Wharton. Chris is a man, because there's a picture here of him. The petitioner has to show the request change actually reflects their gender identity, Justice Paige Peterson noted as the arguments summed up. So, let's see. And our friend Sim Gill, Salt Lake County attorney, has a challenger running for his job.
Oh, really?
Challenger from his own office.
Really?
That's got to be awkward.
Yeah.
But it's not uncommon.
No.
Because you know the Salt Lake County attorney's office, there are lots of attorneys in there who work in county business, and Nathan Evershed is the guy who's going to run. He'll formally announce Tuesday that he'll run for the Republican nomination for district attorney. So there are, attorneys in the Attorney General's office who they're not all Democrats. There are probably a lot of Republicans in there.
I'll bet.
Evershed is currently a homicide prosecutor. In a statement, Evershed touted his experience in court and the experience he gained working in the DA's office. For the past 10 years, it's been my privilege to be a prosecuting attorney inside the district attorney's office, where I prosecute everything from traffic tickets to homicide, gang cases to special victims cases, Evershed said in a campaign video posted on YouTube. I've spent my career working hard to earn the trust of my partners inside the criminal justice system. I'll work just as hard to earn your trust, you voters, if you should elect me as district attorney. Now, Sim is a Democrat. He was not available for comment at the time of this report on Fox 13. We should, I'm sure he'll say, well, best of luck to him. And he's a fine attorney. I've worked with him in the attorney's office, and let's go. Let's go for it. Sim Gill likes a good fight. I know that. The White House is trying to quell rumors that the president is insane.
He's fine.
It's a pretty interesting thing that's happened here.
He called a press conference right after that came out to tell everyone he's not insane. Have we ever had a president do that?
No,
I don't think so.
No, you should. What you should do is if a book comes out and alleges that you're insane, you probably ought to just say, "No, I really haven't read it, and it doesn't pay." It does not bother me at all, and I'm going about the business of being president.
But each person that's in this book has had something to say about being in this book, and they're not denying a lot of it.
Here's something that I didn't know, and I think I heard this correctly. So Stanley Wolf, is that his name?
Michael Wolf.
Michael Wolf, who wrote this book, Fire and Fury, he wrote another book about
Rupert Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was full of stuff like this, very unflattering things that Rupert Murdoch tried to sue him for. He said, you've defamed me. Much of this is not true. Most of it isn't true. I'm going to sue you. And Michael Wolf said, okay, I have almost all of it on tape.
Sure.
Yeah.
He says the same thing about this.
Donald Trump, yeah.
He's got tapes.
I have recordings of these things. So don't tell me it's a lie, that it's not true.
I hope that they sue about this book, because then that means
won't.
those tapes will have to be produced. And that's why they won't sue about this book. They'll just threaten to sue about this book, and it'll be Trump University all over again.
Although, have you seen an interview with Michael Wolf?
Briefly, I haven't watched too much of it.
He's a little, and I'm not discrediting him necessarily.
He's kind of a slime.
He's questionable.
He's quirky would be the delicate way.
He comes across as kind of weaselly.
Let me just put it this way then, okay? Let's say half of the book is false.
Yeah, even still.
That's still scary.
Yeah. So the White House struggling to contain the national discussion like we're having now about President Trump's mental acuity and his fitness for the job, which has overshadowed the administration's agenda for the past week. Trump, of course, publicly waded into the debate over the weekend by claiming on Twitter that he's really smart and a very stable genius.
A stable genius.
In so doing, the president underscored his administration's response strategy by being forceful and combative, while also undermining it gleefully, entering the debate his aides have tried to avoid. Trump privately resents the now regular chatter on cable TV news shows about his mental health and views the issue as an invented fact and a joke, much like he says the Russian probe is.
Sure. Much like anything that he doesn't agree with is.
Yes,
it's a joke.
it's
Not
fake.
true. It's
Yeah.
fake.
Doubts about Trump's state of mind have been whispered about in Washington since before he was elected.
Well, and people who have worked with him in the past have said, yeah, I read that book. That's him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You betcha. So
what's the latest on him having to be interviewed or testify or anything?
It'll happen either
They're arranging
late this week or next week.
They're trying to decide right now whether it'll be written or in person, whether it'll be on the record. All of these details are being worked out right now. I'm more interested in his health checkup that's supposed to come up on Friday.
Well, that's.
Does that have to be released?
No,
it does not have to be released.
And you don't. And in the past, presidents some of them have released very detailed, like Clinton did, but Obama didn't. The president has to have a checkup.
He does, and it has to be done by this guy who's done them for years, not his quirky, weird doctor.
And I think Obama didn't release anything or very little other than the president's health is just fine.
It was he needs to cut down on smoking. Was some of the stuff that was released with Obama.
Yeah, but
the president can decide. But with this question out there now, and the cheeseburgers in bed thing, you got to ask yourself, how much do I let them know? If I say nothing, it's just going to make people go,
You know who I want to talk to is the White House laundry.
The grease stains in the sheets.
The cheeseburgers in bed? Is there?
No, he cleans.
Is there special sauce on that?
He strips his own sheets.
Well, it still
he
goes
does
to
not.
How do you know he strips his own
It's
sheets?
in that book.
Really?
Yes. He does not want anyone stripping his own sheets, which makes me wonder
what's on them.
He was short-sheeted a few times at Trump Tower, and he just has never been the same.
Jeez.
All right. Sports, weather, traffic.
Sports. Just want to revisit it. If you did not watch the game last night between Alabama and Georgia, that is the epitome of great championship football.
I saw that final pass. That was pretty amazing.
Overtime game. Alabama had not scored at all in the first half. People were super pissed that Alabama won because a lot of people, it's sort of dynasty, and they want to overthrow the great team. But it was a great game for everybody who watched it. Governor Rick Scott, he says, you know what, screw that game. The best national champion team is the University of Central Florida because they got gypped out of. I'm sorry, not gypped. They got stolen from being able to.
They got the bums rush.
Yeah, the bums rush being able to go for the national championship. And Steph Curry, from the Golden State Warriors, he wants a piece of the Carolina Panthers. He wants to buy that portion of that team because apparently that's going to be up for new ownership. That is sports. Weather brought to you by X96 welcoming New Politics with their Lost in Translation tour to the Depot on Wednesday, February 28th with special guest Dreamers and the Rex. Tickets are on sale now at allsmithtix.com and the Depot box office. And weather high today of 47. Going to get some rain off and on today, maybe snow overnight. And rain in the morning, and then partly cloudy, mostly sunny through the weekend. Shouldn't see any more moisture throughout that. And then traffic, not too much. Southbound I-15 at 1000 North. There is a crash there on the right-hand side, and southbound I-15 at milepost 275, so down in Pleasant Grove, there's a crash there. Slow down if the roads are wet, and you don't know if the roads are wet, so slow down. That's traffic.
Thank you.
We'll get boner candidate number 3 now. By the way, the president spokesperson was asked, will the debate will the president's physical include a mental component? The physical that's coming up.
It won't.
And the deputy press secretary, whose name is Hogan Gidley, said no.
No. And they haven't in the past.
Yeah. Hogan Gidley. All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Beer run! A beer-craving, barefooted man hopped into an unattended police car in Sacramento to go out and get some brewskis. Zachary Samaha allegedly swiped the patrol car on Saturday night before driving to the A1 liquor store, where he bought a 40 ounce of malt beer, which he took a swig of as he headed out of the store. Moments later, however, Mr. Samaha was taken down by a local man who made a citizen's arrest and held him on the ground before the cops arrived, because this guy was barefoot, swigging out of a 40 ounce, and was going to get into a police car and drive away. And an alert citizen thought, this don't look right, and took Mr. Samaha down. The Good Samaritan, identified as Chris Marzan, had spotted the patrol car swerving with its headlights off and then hitting a telephone pole. Oh, there we go. So he got out. He was driving away from the liquor store and hit a telephone pole. I'm on the phone with dispatch, and I said, look, I got a guy who just stole a patrol car, Marzan told Public Safety News Network. He said, I took him down, and I got him here. Boner candidate number 3, beer run.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
So boner candidate number 1 was the coolest monkey in the jungle. This is the clothing company H&M apologizing for the monkey, coolest monkey in the jungle hoodie that they were selling, and a little black kid, a model, wearing that in their on the online site. And boner candidate number 2, I'll stab you down there. Elliot Spitzer threatening to stab a man in the junk during dinner at a restaurant. And boner candidate number 3, beer run.
All right, now is the time to decide round 2's winner. This candidate, if it wins, will go up against the winner of round 1 in boner fight. It might be boner of the day. 1, 2, or 3, you decide. Put that number of the candidate you think should win in the message of a text. Text it to 33986. Call 877-602-9696. Or go to x96.com and look for the box that says January 9 round 2 on it, okay? You got 3 minutes. Let's go.
The music starts at 10 with a 1-hour nonstop music wingding on X96. From Hell with Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96.
Let's see. It's 8:46. Time to award your boner.
And this morning's boner, round two, brought to you in part by a glass of 115 proof.
Wow.
Bourbon whiskey.
And now you're new blind.
It's really good.
What is it called?
It's what's the brand? It's Old Forester. There's it's an expensive Old Forester. Not
And
my regular Old Forester.
By Squatters and X96 presenting Lights Camera Brunch on Sunday, January 21st from 11 to 1:30 p.m. at Squatters Pub Brewery. That's 147 West Broadway. You can join Bill, Gina, and special guests director Trent Harris and actor Jay Whitaker for our Not Safe for Radio podcast. Costs $15 and you can reserve your spot today at x96.com. X96, an official provider of the 2018 Sundance Institute.
So Trent Harris is going to be there. You
Yes.
mentioned
Yes, he
Trent.
did mention it.
He
mentioned
is,
Trent
in fact,
Harris,
and Jay Whitaker.
Jay Whitaker will be there. I
Yes.
heard you mention him. But. So boner candidate number one, the coolest monkey in the jungle, the H&M clothing company, putting a little very cute little kid, black model, having him on their website wearing a hoodie that says coolest monkey in the jungle.
And there's still some of our listeners trying to defend this.
How so?
Saying it's not racist.
Well, maybe it wasn't intended as racist. It, however, comes across as racist.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there was boner candidate number two. I'll stab you. I'll stab you down there. You know, that's a part of the, even knowing all the details of the story that Carrie pointed out, what is wrong with Elliot Spitzer that he threatens to stab someone in the penis?
Exactly.
What is?
See, that's my point. A lot of guys like this, a lot of their problems is the way they handle a situation.
And apparently the fellow who goaded him knows this.
Oh, he knows that.
I know I can get him going.
Yeah.
And then it's like Gina with me.
Exactly.
She knows.
But you let it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're Elliot Spitzer.
But you're constantly threatening to
With
stab
Gina,
her in the...
I'm Gina's Elliot Spitzer. There's no doubt about it. And then boner candidate number three, beer run. Guy steals a cop car to go get some beer. The winner, very even voting, by the way, very close among all three. Boner candidate number one, coolest monkey in the jungle.
All right, so there you go. It is now a contender for Boner of the Day. It's got a 50-50 chance. It'll go up against the winner of round one. Boner fight happens at 9:20. That's when it will be decided.
Don't forget, coming up at 9 o'clock, we're going to give you a keyword for you to go to an amazing, awesome concert. I'll have all the details for you here in a minute in the Gulf Shores, and that's just after 9 o'clock with Tuesday Tunes with Todd.
So I actually should have Dylan in here for a little bit of this conversation. So it was determined for a Christmas present for, I guess, my ex-wife is that she likes to go places with my two new kids and our two old kids and my current wife and all. So it was a present. This was a present essentially for your mom, right, Dylan? So we one year we went up to the Zermatt,
Heber.
yeah, up in Heber for a couple of
Technically
nights.
Midway, you guys.
Midway, yeah. And then so this year we said, let's go up to Lava. And up to Lava we go. We rented. There is, if you try to stay in a motel in Lava, I would advise against it. They're not that great, but we found there are houses you can rent up and around there. People have like Airbnb.
It's a big weekend destination for people along the Wasatch Front. You go up, you get
and
in the river.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's like 2 hours from Salt Lake, an hour and a half from Ogden.
Yeah,
I hadn't been there for a long time, and I like it. I like it in the winter. Just go into the hot pools. So we booked this weekend. So it was Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday to Lava. Mm-hmm. And up we go to Lava, and we get there. Now, My wife, Mrs. Bill, very ill.
Right.
She couldn't. She
The flu?
Yeah. Well, pneumonia.
Okay.
She couldn't come up. So I go up with my 2 new kids. I meet Dylan up there. Claudia, my ex-wife, comes up. My other daughter, Julie, comes up. Nice. We have a nice time.
We grilled some steaks.
Grilled some steaks. And we went to the hot pools. And so we were in the dressing room. And how did it come up that we were talking about marijuana? I don't recall. Do you? But
No, it's a family vacation with the Allreds. I feel like it.
Yeah. So Dylan and I were talking about
some politics.
Medical
Well, it is in the news, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how it came up. So,
and some guy there who had a cane and he had a really bad knee. Turns out he'd had knee and hip surgery. Was listening to this, I guess, and at some point he turns to me and he says, "So what are your feelings on marijuana? Legalizing it?" I think we were just joking around about something.
Right.
What are your feelings on that? And I just, went off and said, "Well, I think it should be legal," and and so if you use, well, yeah, sure, I'm telling this guy all of this, and as we're walking out, and it occurred to me after he walked away, and I went and got in the pool. Wait a minute, why was I shooting my mouth off like that to some guy I don't know? Could
have been a cop.
But nothing happened with that. So anyway, we have a nice time, and
I had to yell at some people. Not yell at them. I was polite, but here's the thing: if you're especially in somewhere where it's hot pools, where people are there to enjoy the silence and the relaxation,
take the waters,
to sit in the water and just feel relaxed.
You can tell there are some people up there because they think it's healing water.
Sure.
I mean, they're
it has powers.
Yeah.
Sure. We don't want to hear your cell phone music.
No.
Turn your cell phone music off.
There are people playing hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And it's like just this beautiful, serene, cold night, hot water, smoke coming up. It's great. And then
not real loud, but still,
pretty loud.
Yeah.
And so I went over and I just said, "Hey, guys, can you turn that down?" And they went, "Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry." And then they turn it off, and they sit in there for a few more minutes. Then they leave, and then a couple comes in and sits in the same spot as them, pulls out his cell phone, loud country music. This was like,
I don't get it.
What's wrong with people? What it made me want to do was swim over to right where they were and get out of the hot tub, dripping wet, and just walk right over the soap. That's how much anger,
passive aggressive.
How much anger was in me.
Some says this happens on campus all the time, up at the U, I guess.
Well, and remember, I was up at Snowbird, and and Gina gave me all kinds of crap. I said I'm listening to my stuff on headphones, and there's a woman there playing Lynyrd Skynyrd on her boombox. It's just don't do that.
Yeah, you really should have it on headphones.
I feel like if you're alone, you can do it. Like
Sure.
if I'm up at the Cliff Lodge and there's nobody else, I take my phone out. Yes,
Sure.
I can amplify music, but no, to impose on anybody else.
Next time, what I'm going to do is take out my phone and play "Hello Dolly" top volume. Okay.
So I got to get to this. So we go back to the house, and it's late, and I'm looking at some email, and I see this piece of email that's saying, remember your tickets to the Markiplier show at the Eccles Theater for Saturday night. Months ago, I got tickets to see this, to take my young daughter, to see Markiplier, who's this big YouTube star.
Okay.
And he's out on a tour, a live tour, and she worships him. She adores him. And I got these tickets months ago, and I forgot to put it on my calendar. Markiplier, and plus we had tickets for a special meet and greet before, not a meet and greet, but a special pre-show thing, and it's Saturday night, and so I said I've got to go back. So she and I got in the car Saturday about noon, 1 o'clock, and drove back to Salt Lake, blinding snow through the Malad Pass, so that we could go to this Markiplier show. Now I just want to say one thing about that. This guy, I really didn't have any idea much who he was. I'd watched one little bit of thing that she showed me. The Eccles Theater was full, jam-packed, mostly with young girls, but there were, full. And I said to some of the people who run the Eccles, I said, "What? This is amazing." They said, "Yeah, and you know what? There is no money spent on advertising. Zero. This is all through his website, and these people are here because they adore him." And so I'm thinking, well, what? Why do they adore him? Well, he's great. He really is great. And what's great about him is they do a lot of dumb improv with some of his friends that are also YouTubers.
There is no such thing as dumb improv, but go ahead.
And they do little sketches, and he sings some at the first. It's funny enough. It's okay. It's fairly amusing, but he is so sincere when there are points where he talks to the people in the audience, and he talks to them, and he loves them, and they love him, and that's what's so great about Markiplier. He is so sincere, and it's the show's even a little dirty here and there, for these 13, 14-year-old. And older too, but so anyway, it ended up being a wonderful night seeing him and with my daughter, because she was just she cried. She doesn't show emotion very often, but she just, when he came out, she was crying. It was so great. So, nice. Anyway,
thank you.
Quick last look at traffic. Sorry, I got to close that down.
Okay,
here we
late.
go. Nothing.
Okay, thank you. We got Tuesday Tunes with Todd coming up in a moment. Stand by for that. First, we've got to tell you about the Open Classroom.
Oh, the Open Classroom. Listen, I met with those folks, and really, I met with several of the students and the principal and one of the mothers, and I really like them. The Open Classroom, it's up in the Avenues, 134 D Street. Teacher-directed, parent-supported, child-centered school. They have K through 8th grade. If you've got a student that's struggling in public school, regular school, now this is a charter school, so it's still part of the public school system. But if you're struggling in regular school, maybe the Open Classroom could be for your student. Small group instruction. The average class size is just 21 students. They do what they call whole child learning, individualized instruction based on the personal needs of the student. It's in the old what's that, Ensign Elementary, I think it is, in the Avenues.
It's a nice facility.
Yeah, very nice elementary school that was part of that was a long-time public school, and now it's the charter, the Open Classroom. If you want to find out more about it, if your children aren't getting what they need from your current school, consider the Open Classroom. You can check out their Parent Information Night. It's this Thursday from 6:30 to 8. Childcare provided if you want to bring other kids. Applications for 2018 and 2019 are due February 16th. It's the Open Classroom. The Sundance.
Hello, kitties. It's me, your old friend, the bookkeeper. Since this is tax season, I thought you might want to hear a story from the big ledger about filing your taxes. Today's installment concerns the do's and don'ts of claiming deductions. Pay careful attention now, or you may have to pay more later.
Well, Mrs. Johnson, I've looked over your return, and I have a few questions about some of your deductions.
Oh, my, is there something wrong?
Well, you've claimed over $9,000 in medical expenses.
That's correct. I have all the receipts right here in this shoebox.
You seem to be in perfect health. Now, some of these procedures seem a bit odd.
Oh?
Spaying?
Yes.
Neutering?
Yes.
Hairball removal?
Yes.
These are services performed on your cat?
Oh, yes, I love cats. I have over 30 of them.
You can't claim your pet's medical expenses.
But they're like family to me.
It's not allowed by the IRS.
Well, could I claim them as a home improvement?
How so?
Well, they keep me toasty warm in the winter. They're like portable space heaters.
I don't think so.
Well, they shed a lot.
So?
Their excess fur helps insulate my house. Better R value than the pink fiberglass stuff.
And no.
Can I claim them as my children?
And no. The government would never overlook you being 80 years old with more than 30 dependents, some of whom are named Buffy, Tabby, and Mr. Boots.
Well, I've made sure they all have Social Security numbers.
Well, why didn't you say so? Sign here. You can expect a hefty refund.
Oh, thank you.
Ms. Smith, Send in Mr. Thompson, will you?
Who?
The guy who wants to deduct his dog as a home security system.
Okay. Well, kiddies, it does pay to keep good records after all. Looks like Mrs. Johnson is in for a windfall. If she can avoid an audit by the IRS, that is. Maybe the nice accountant fellow from S&M Block will go to jail for her. Remember to file on time, and if you need any help with those tricky forms, don't hesitate to ask your old friend, the bookkeeper.
right.
I would agree with that completely. I read a editorial, I forget where, this morning about, now really think about Oprah being president. No.
See, here's the thing.
We want somebody qualified to be president. I like Oprah okay.
But here's the thing. Trump has set the bar so low that she looks great in the idea of her being president.
Yes, she looks great.
When
but
you
I'd
compare
still,
her to Trump, which is how elections happen, are you better off now than you were? That being said, anybody that runs against Trump is going to look great.
Well, okay, but I'd like it to be somebody
I will vote
qualified.
for it. I don't care who it is.
Well, and look for the.
I will vote against Trump.
The front runner right now of the Democratic Party. No one.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
Yeah.
We need to do a giveaway. Qualify for a trip to see the Killers, Cold War Kids, or as this says, Cold Ward Kids. Cold War Kids, Portugal the Man.
That's the Ogden 40th Ward.
Oh, really?
The Cold Ward.
Yeah. St. Vincent, Foster the People, and Bleachers. It's in Gulf Shores, Alabama. You can listen today, 9, 2, and 5, for your chance to win a pair of concert tickets to a show here in Salt Lake, which is, I believe it's the New Politics. Is that the qualifier prize? Okay, a bunch of different ones. You can get all the details at x96.com. If you want to qualify for this trip, though, you need to text the word KILLERS, KILLERS, to the number 33986. And if you are the 96th texter, you will get qualified and win that pair of tickets. It's Killers, Killers. Look, it's Todd.
I made it.
Hi, Todd.
Oh, hi, Todd.
Thursday turns with Todd on X96, Radio from Hell.
You're looking kind of spiffy today.
Why, thank you.
I like your car coat.
Yeah, my new jacket.
I like that. Yeah.
It's Vans.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is it?
Nice. So for Christmas, here's my wife. So if when there's a birthday or Christmas or whatever, my wife knows to just go to the Vans store and spend money, and I'm happy.
You like anything Vans?
Pretty much, yeah.
Isn't that what they used to call those kind of coats? Car coats. I don't know why. But so Todd is here. He is the director of the X96 radio station, and he also is on the air from 3 to 7.
Yes, sir.
Every weekday here on X96, and he brings us some songs sometimes.
Yes. New stuff?
Yeah, this and these. Excuse me. I think I have the Gina flu.
Uh-oh.
Or, I had it. Now it's going away, I think. I hope.
Wash your hands.
Anyway, so a new Joywave song came out a few weeks back, and we started playing it. And I love Joywave, and I think that, they've done just some amazing, interesting things along the way. And this song, I think it's probably their strongest one they've ever put out.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's high praise.
Yeah, well,
All right.
and they're going to be in town, too. They're going to be at Urban Lounge on the 20th of February. So a good band to see live, for sure.
All right.
Okay.
Well, here it is, Tuesday Tunes with Todd. The band is Joywave. The song is Doubt, X96. I think I like that.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
I think I like that.
And they're the nicest guys. We've had them. In fact, there's video on x96.com of we've had them drop by a number of times. But they did a little live performance, and they're just talented kids.
Okay.
There it is. Tuesday Tunes with Todd. Doubt from Joywave.
So ask for it at your local. Ask for it at your local record store.
Yeah, go down to Toad Tape in Riverdale and
Yes,
get a
where
record.
Riverdale meets Washington and just goes crazy.
Go down to Raspberry Records and get a 45 of that
That's
song.
right. I'll get the 45. Do you have any adapters? Where Riverdale meets Washington.
I
and just
prefer
goes crazy.
the 12-inch single.
Yeah, well.
Well, I know that.
Let's see. Something else I was going to ask you, but I can't remember it right. All right. Okay, fine.
I'll be around. You know where to find me.
You're in the building.
Yep.
You're around here hanging.
Nice to see you, Todd.
Thank you, as always. It's been a while.
It has.
X96, ran from hell.
Right. We missed you the first week of the year.
Yeah, but
There just wasn't anything new to play.
and you look healthy.
Yes.
I'm trying to
You
be
look
like.
good.
Well, I had that there was that nasty cold going around, and I'm still coughing up crap out of my and it feels like you start to feel like you're getting better, but then it just won't go like that. Ugh.
I blame it on the pollution.
I'm starting to see
it.
more and more of those masks.
Yeah.
People are wearing them.
Yeah.
You can buy designer ones now.
No, the air is putrid, no doubt about it.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Todd. Okay, we will take a quick break here. We got Boner Fight coming up after these, along with a certain amount of news. Stand by for that.
When we tell you that we go to XL Automotive Repair, we're not lying.
No, we go.
They're
great guys.
And if you don't believe us, go there, and I guarantee we'll show up at some point.
You'll see one of us there.
XL Automotive Repair, Steve, Richard, Kip, the rest of them, they're great auto mechanics, and they're honest, and they'll just treat you the right way at XL Automotive Repair.
Every time I've been there, they're quick to get to what it is, and then they will tell me, hey, you know what? This is what the problem is, but they also tell me you might want to be thinking, timing belt is going to be coming up, so get ready for something like that. They also help me with preventative stuff as well, which I appreciate so much.
So new customers at XL Automotive Repair right now, you can get a full service oil change for just $20 plus tax. XL Automotive Repair, they're on the corner of 3rd East and 3300 South. XLAutomotiveRepair.com, and that's EXCEL. XLAutomotiveRepair.com.
We know that live music on the beach is a hell of a lot better.
Carrie? Yeah? It's Bill. I don't think I can make it into work this morning.
Bill, it's 2 a.m. What the hell's the problem? Wait a minute. You're not staying up all night watching Mary Tyler Moore on Nick at Night again, are you?
Yeah. Mare has such a great job. She works with such fun people. I just can't make it in to do the show today unless...
Unless what?
Well, if you call me right back, I could probably make it in.
Fine. I'll call you right back.
Hello.
Mary, this is Lou Grant.
Oh, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know what time it is, Mary. I looked at the clock the minute I ran out of scotch. Mary, I need you to do something for me for this morning's production meeting.
Really, Mr. Grant? Anything.
I need you to come in early and make coffee for the TV station brass.
Coffee, Mr. Grant.
And I need you to sharpen up a bunch of pencils, too.
Mr. Grant,
And I want you to present your idea for that WJM News Magazine show that you want to do.
I on Minneapolis? Really, Mr. Grant?
Really, Mary? And I'm going to tell the station owner that Mary Richards is the best associate news producer I've ever worked with.
Oh, Mr. Grant.
So I'll see you at the station bright and early, Mary?
Yes.
Good night, Mary.
Goodbye, Mr. Grant.
Who was that, Bill?
There is no Bill. There's only Mary. I'm sorry I woke you, Ted.
Oh, God. That's all right, Mary. Same here. I was thinking about that Eye on Minneapolis show that I'm going to anchor. Why couldn't we call it Ted Baxter's Eye on Minneapolis?
Ted, I don't think Mr. Grant would approve that.
I'll just beg him until he gives in. I'll just go, oh, come on, Lou. Please, please, Lou. Please.
A spider-infested, dusty old studio with substandard equipment in Ogden. Now, Carrie, Bill, and Gina have a big, fancy studio in beautiful downtown Salt Lake. And they still find things to bitch about. X96.
Well, yeah.
Dick.
What of it?
Yeah, you have no idea.
Gee.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's supposed to mean?
You have no idea. What does that mean?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you guys have
you could just not say anything.
Well, sure, but
that would be the smart thing to say.
I think I wouldn't go any further with it if I were you.
Exactly.
You should. When Carrie says, "What did you mean by that?" You probably should have just said nothing.
You should just move along.
Nothing.
Move along.
Nothing. I didn't mean anything. I didn't mean anything, man.
All right. Let's get to, we got Boner Fight coming up in a few moments, but first, a certain amount of news.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by
LASIK at Hoops Vision. Now, this resolution is easy. Ask about 24 months, 0 interest, and their See Clearly guarantee. You can schedule your free LASIK consultation today. Call them 877-30-LASIK or go to hoopsvision.com.
People were just really, really, really upset about the a lot of people. I was not among
Many
them,
people.
but
People are telling me.
very upset about the New York Times obituary for LDS President Thomas Monson.
150,000 signatures on the change.org petition to get him to change it.
Change it?
It's
already out there.
Yeah, but they want him to change it. No, they won't.
They won't.
But it's a way for people to feel like they can align and say, you're right, that is upsetting.
Many members of the Mormon faith took issue with the obituary, which starts out with some of the more controversial points of the LDS leader's tenure. It starts this way. Thomas S. Monson, who as president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
You know the legislature.
since 2008, enlarged the ranks of female missionaries, but rebuffed demands to ordain women as priests and refused to alter church opposition to same-sex marriage. Died on Tuesday at his home in Salt Lake City. As the Atlantic writer McKay Coppins put it, some felt the Times obituary defined his life's work by the things he didn't do rather than the commitment to personal ministry. The Times' response to readers, posted on the Reader Center section in the New York Times, said readers had complained that the obituary focused too narrowly on the politics and controversies of the church and overlooked Mr. Monson's contribution to the community. In an effort to explain the process taken in writing last week's obituary, New York Times obituary's editor, William McDonald, answered a lot of questions compiled from the feedback the paper received. He did say in hindsight, we might have paid more attention to the high regard with which Monson was held within the church. I think by his very position in the church, all that was implied, but perhaps we could have stated it more plainly. McDonald also noted that the paper is not in the business of paying tributes to people. We're journalists first and foremost, and the obituaries are no exception to that. So,
a quick aside about President Monson. So the changing from President Monson to what we assume to be President Nelson. President Monson is the last of the prophets who essentially just served in the church. President Nelson will be, there's sort of this changing of guard, even though President Nelson is 93 and will be called to be the prophet.
So what you're saying is that Monson, almost his whole career was
a church guy, even though he did some
all
other
of the
things.
All of the previous presidents of the church were like that,
right?
And
Nelson he was a heart surgeon, had a professional career, and then was called into the apostleship. So you will see a change.
They have a ship.
It's called Lollipop.
Called to be an apostle.
Yeah, the apostleship.
Okay. Brad Pitt. He's not upset about that obituary.
Yeah.
He bid $120,000 at Sean Penn's Celebrity Gala to watch Game of Thrones with Emilia Clarke.
Well, he is single these days.
Daenerys Targaryen. Pitt's bid at Saturday night's 7th annual Sean Penn and Friends Haiti Rising Gala, benefiting the Haitian Relief Organization, climbed to six figures from its opening price of $20,000. Pitt was reportedly on his phone when the auction began, but once the opportunity to hang out with the 31-year-old mother of dragons was announced, Brad Pitt, they mention, is 50-something. The Moneyball actor began clapping and raising his bidding paddle with excitement. Pitt raised his bid mid-auction from $90,000 to $120,000 after Clark's Thrones co-star Kit Harington said he'd watch the show with the winner as well. So I would have dropped out of the bidding. If I can't watch it
exactly.
with
Third wheel.
With Daenerys Targaryen alone, I'm not gonna. Just because it's Brad Pitt doesn't mean you can't bid against him, said the auctioneer. And two philanthropic guests, a woman and her husband, upped the stakes to $160,000, and Brad dropped out of the bidding at that point.
Did no one ask Daenerys Targaryen her opinion? Whether she'd accept the Brad Pitt bid?
Well, I think she would have accepted any bid. She's doing it for charity, you know.
And she's in the upcoming Han Solo movie.
Yes, she is.
Which comes out May?
May.
She's a pretty good actress.
Yeah, she's good.
She's gotten some good reviews in some other stuff as well, which it's nice when you see an actress or have an actor or an actress that you like in one thing, but you're just worried that that's it. That's all they can do is that thing.
Yeah.
And then you see them in something else and they're good. Then it makes you. I like that. Harvey Weinstein's some of his accusers, Asia Argento, Rose McGowan, Rosanna Arquette, and Mira Sorvino say, yeah, that speech by Oprah was nice and all, but nobody invited us to the Golden Globes.
But
Rose McGowan and Asia Argento were accused Harvey Weinstein of rape, which acted as a catalyst for the Me Too movement and Time's Up movements. The women, along with several of Weinstein's other accusers, claim that they weren't invited to attend. I can only speak for myself, but not only was I not invited to the Golden Globes, nobody asked my opinion about hashtag Time's Up or to sign the letter, said Argento. I support @Time's Up now, even though I was excluded from it. Guess I'm not powerful or Hollywood enough. Proud to work behind the scenes. Sunday, Argento.
Yes, you should be.
On Sunday, Argento tweeted to McGowan, "No one should forget that you were the first one who broke the silence. Anyone who tries to diminish your work is a troll." McGowan said, "I guess I'm not one of those fancy people wearing black to honor our rapes, and who would have lifted a finger had it not been so."
But that's not the point. Like, it seems to me that if you're taking issue with that you did it for the entire wrong reason.
You should look at that and go, look what we did. Look at the movement that we started.
Right.
Isn't that awesome?
Right, and not why wasn't I invited to the thing? That seems like you would have done the whole Me Too thing for the wrong reason.
No. I think their point is, if you're going to be spending the whole evening trumpeting how great that movement is, we were sort of the founders of that, and we are in the business. It would have been nice to have us there.
But none of them created the Me Too hashtag. That was created before.
Right, but they brought it all. They brought this into prominence.
Sure, but if you want to credit the inventor, then let's go deep.
Mira Sorvino.
I mean, I love Mira Sorvino.
She said. Anyway, she just supported. And they were, they said, well, nobody invited us. I think, and I think they make a point. I think they should have been invited.
Well, they were on the cover of Time, weren't they?
Yeah, no, but I mean, they should have been invited to the Golden Globes. They talked about all that movement, but because it's not like they're not in the business.
But the Golden Globes didn't plan on that happening. It's kind of out of their control. It was planned around them. The whole black dress thing was not the Golden Globes idea. It was the people who attended. They kind of hijacked that in a way.
I think they should have just shown up.
So it's not like the Golden Globes knew and planned that this was going to happen. So it's not like they could.
They felt slighted, and I think they have a legitimate point.
I mean, then some of those actresses should have gave up their seats to Mira Sorvino.
Well, they might have. If they showed, I think they should have showed up. Anyway.
All right.
It's Boner Fight.
I guess so.
With Radio from Hell on X96.
Have to agree to disagree on this one. All right, it's time for the big Boner Fight. These are the candidates from round 1 and round 2 going head to head. Here we go. Number 1, it's their genetics in that. Lawmaker in Kansas saying that black people can't handle marijuana because they're, because of
what?
Well, because of their,
What?
Well, they can't handle it because it's because of their genetics in that.
What genetics? What are you talking about?
The way they're made up.
What do you
and their personalities.
Where do you get this information?
From sources.
Sources where?
I saw a movie and I read an article.
An article from the 30s?
I didn't look at the date on it, and the paper didn't look yellow.
I don't think they had genetics back then.
All right. And that's number 1. Yeah, an actual lawmaker in Kansas saying that. Their genetics and that. It would have been even better if he'd said that it's their genetics and whatnot. And then boner candidate number 2, the coolest monkey in the jungle, H&M. Not really looking very carefully at what their advertising was doing here. They had a hoodie that they were selling that said "Coolest Monkey in the Jungle," and they put a very cute-looking little African or dark-skinned boy in this hoodie on their website to sell this "Coolest Monkey in the Jungle" hoodie. So they're saying, "Oh, we're sorry. They pulled it. We're pulling it. Sorry. Too late. It's out there."
There you go. All right. This is for Boner of the Day. This is Boner Fight. You got to decide which one of these two candidates deserves to be Boner of the Day. 1 or 2. Put the number of the candidate that you think should win in the message of a text. Text that to 33986. That's one way. You can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go to x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fight January 9. You've only got, well, if that box isn't there, refresh. It should appear. You've only got 3.5 minutes. Let's go. It's Boner of the Day.
X96 gives you a 1-hour nonstop music winding with John Smith right after Radio from Hell.
Cabin fever serving the...
CART. Spell it with me now. C-A-R-T. And now we'll use it in some dialogue featuring our two Utah friends, LeVar and LeGrand. Come join the boys now as they drive the highways and byways of our great city, Salt Lake. LeGrand is driving. His friend LeVar is an unwilling passenger. Again, the Utah word is CART. Listen, Mr. Elder LeGrand R. Dunn Jr., I appreciate you driving me to my appointment and all, but you're scaring me to death with the way you're handling this automobile. I think we may die before we get there.
I've been driving this Reliant K car without so much as a fender bender for 8 years now, LeVar. I don't think you have no room to talk about how I drive. Watch out where you're going, you flipping fool!
There, you see, LeGrand, that's just what I mean right there. You cut in front of that guy there, almost rammed into him, and then you honk and yell. It was your fault.
The gall-danged mother flipper saw me signal and just wouldn't move out in the way. He should have moved out in the way.
Look, why don't you just pull over and let me behind the wheel of the K before you give us both ulcers?
Because you haven't a driver's license at this particular junction of time and space. You cannot legally drive. That's why we're driving to the traffic cart, to meet your liar. I have my doubts whether you will get it back, though. You run over a person in a pedestrian crosswalk. Well, the cart isn't going to look on that very favorably.
First off, I didn't run over nobody. I just knocked the guy down. Hell, he jumped right back up, started yelling bloody murder at me, and then it was me that was the one who calmed him down and helped him find most of his teeth. And second off, I fired my liar. He said the best he could do was keep me out of the state pen and in the county log. He weren't no help at all. So I will represent myself in CART.
Well, you know what they say, LeVar. A man who serves as his own liar in CART has a dipstick for a client.
Oh, come on now. Whoever said that?
Smartest liar ever.
Who, F.G. Bailey? Or that Melvin Belly? Maybe it was that Lehigh McKenzie from L.A. Law.
Nope. The smartest liar ever was Perry Mason. Never lost a case in CART.
He was good. Hey, do you ever look at his secretary, that Deli Street, and have impure thoughts?
Yeah, when I was a kid. When I confessed to my church leaders, I was afraid they'd haul me into the bishop's cart.
All right, it's time to award Boner of the Day.
And the Boner of the Day is brought to you in part by, oh man, it was good pasta. It was is it gemelli, those little twisty pastas?
Oh,
I think it's gemelli. That's how you say it.
I don't know.
And it
there
was
are a lot of little twisty pastas.
Pesto and smoked salmon.
And it's brought to you by the Sundance Film Festival, returning January 18th through the 28th with screenings in Park City, Salt Lake City, and Sundance Mountain Resort. Utah locals, pay attention. You get early access to tickets one day only. That's this Thursday, the 11th of January, starting at noon. And you can find the information about that at sundance.org/festival.
So it was no contest.
At all.
Really?
Yeah. Coolest monkey in the jungle? Yeah. That's H&M. 10 people voted for that. The winner. It's in their genetics and that. Kansas lawmaker.
There you go. That's Boner of the Day. It is now candidate for Boner of the Week. That'll be decided around this time on Friday.
Friday?
Friday.
I don't like it when people use the term whatnot.
You don't like whatnot?
No. Just don't. It means nothing.
No. Who's the comedian that does it on his Twitter and it works?
Whatnot?
Whatnot.
He uses it as a
uses
comedic
it
device.
Every time as a comedic device, and it works.
Well,
I can't remember his name.
That makes sense to me.
Oh, he works Vegas all the time.
It's just a play. I mean, I understand why people do it.
Yeah.
It's a placeholder. They can't think of anything.
He uses it as that's his destination. You know.
Well, I could see how that might be amusing. Whatnot? It's yeah. I don't think I say anymore. I used to say a lot when I was younger, and I tried very hard to get rid of it from my vocabulary because it was all the time. And somebody pointed that out to me, and yeah, you're right, I do. And it doesn't mean anything.
It's just a placeholder. Although you could turn that into a comedic destination.
I've got a list of the 15 funniest Twitter accounts of 2017.
Oh, yeah?
You wanted to talk about obituaries? You want to do that?
I forgot about that.
Oh, it's right there.
So I know I wasn't looking. I've gotten tired here at the end of the show. Yesterday, I read an obituary that I had seen in the Salt Lake Tribune that I thought was just kind of interesting and moving in a way. It was about a guy named Nathan West, and what I really liked about it was that it started about he and his brother used to steal CDs and books from the Cottonwood Mall. And it says in the obituary. And it was not a very long obituary. Talked about his life a little bit, and he was into science fiction, and he wanted to be a writer, a science fiction writer, and he tried various things along that. Anyway, he got ocular cancer, got eye cancer, and it spread, and he died at a pretty young age, really. I think he was in his 40s. So I read it yesterday. It was interesting, and I got this email that I saw this morning. It says, Bill, as a friend of the program, I was listening this morning when you read Nick's obituary, and I was touched and appreciated the way you approached the topic. I had some family listen to the podcast, and people cried when they heard you read the obituary. Thanks a lot. I don't know if he means thanks or thanks a lot, but says, I wrote the obituary with the help of Nick's brother, Chris, and his wife, Kathy. My wife, Wendy said, a reading by Bill Allred of the obituary is a great tribute to Nick. You mentioned that Nick looked familiar. There was a picture there. He said, he had a strong family resemblance with me, his father. I was a BFOP in 2012. I gave you a challenge coin. Also, Nick got around in a couple of Salt Lake City scenes. He was friends with Richard Dutcher and a number of other amateur filmmakers. He tried his hand at some short films. He also had a band 10 years ago that played some of the local clubs. So I know when I said the guy looked familiar, I've run into him before. Here's also an interesting connection that Pete, his father, writes about. He was a major geek, and he wrote a couple of comics that were published. Also was working on a book he called Cancel the Ark. Never monetarily successful, but he loved the craft and was writing until the effing cancer made him too weak to write. As a rabid geek, Nick had some association with the boys on the Geek Show podcast. From what I gather, there was a falling out over geek stuff, and that does happen. And the comments have geek stuff and the comments section.
Oh, yeah.
Kerry achieved the status of his nemesis for a while, but then he moved on.
Because I closed down the comments section of the website. There was a chat room in there, and it was just getting too toxic, and so I closed it. I did it mostly for Jeff's health.
Yeah, because he'd get all
he would
apoplectic
go,
about
he would
it.
go wading in there, and I'd be like, Jeff, just let it go.
Isn't it nice to know, though, that you were someone's nemesis for a while?
I did not know. That's the thing.
Would you like to know? I mean, if you are somene's nemesis, would you like to know about it?
It's not that great.
I mean, Superman is well aware of Lex Luthor, you know. I think you need to know.
Yeah. Bill, as an on-air personality, just know that you guys make a difference. I say this mostly sober. There are many of us who wake up early to hear you guys and your liberal banter, you and Kerry and Gina. You've said that all you know how to do is talk. Well, that's true, but not many can do it as well and as entertaining. Thanks again, Pete.
Oh, thank you, Pete.
Thank you. That was very nice, and I'm glad that every once in a while when I find an obituary that I think is interesting or kind of touching, I read it on. And very often we hear from the people, the family members, and I'm glad that you liked that, and maybe we'll make it a regular feature.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Maybe we can have a stunt boy read obituaries.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right.
We'll get a woman with a sexy voice to read the obituary.
Yeah.
If it involves the reading of obituary, that's where you stop. That's where you're just full stop.
We should make it all radio-y.
No.
Guess the name of the person who died.
Yeah.
No. All right. We do have to take a break. We'll be back. Haster Games and Hobbies. If you or someone close to you is into board games like Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, you're going to love. Well, you probably already know about Haster Games. They've been around for quite a while. Now, here's what's coming up at Haster Games this weekend. Pre-release for Magic the Gathering's latest set, Rivals of Ixtlan. It's on Friday, 11 p.m., the 12th, and 4 p.m. Saturday the 13th. Okay, so 11 p.m. on Friday, 4 p.m. on Saturday. That's a pre-release for this. And all weekend you can take advantage of discounted inventory with select games at 15 to 22% off. If you're not a gamer, it's like I always said, the gift certificate is the best way to go at Haster. That way they can get what they want and need. You got the best selection of all the latest board games, Magic products. They buy pre-owned board games and Magic products. They're open 7 days a week. Remember, Haster has it at 6831 South State or online at hastergames.com. So this pre-release for Magic the Gathering's latest set, Rivals of Ixtlan, Friday at 11 p.m. and 4 p.m. on Saturday the 13th. Thank you.
X96 is your home for non-stop music. We give you a 1-hour non-stop music wingding 3 times a day.
This is very unorthodox.
At 10 a.m., right after Radio from Hell, at 1 p.m. while you're listening in the workplace, and at 4:30 for your drive home.
What's all this mean? Can't you say it in English?
1-hour non-stop music wingdings 3 times a day at 10, 1, and 4:30. Only on X96.
Deli. Deli. Spell it with me now. D-E-L-I. And now we'll use it in some dialogue with LeVar and his friend Elder LeGrand R. Dunn Jr. It's Sunday, and LeVar has come over to his friend LeGrand's home to see why Elder Dunn is not in church. Again, the word is deli. Let's listen.
Come in.
Oh, there you are, LeGrand. Home all alone in front of the TV on Sunday. I know, I can see the church parking lot from my trailer home, and when I saw your minivan pull up for the meeting, and your wife Midge and all the little Dunn kids pile out without their daddy,
I figured something was up. Something is up, isn't it, LeGrand? It ain't like you to miss church. How come you ain't there?
Well, I ain't feeling well, LeVar. I spent the night horking up my guts. I had stuff running out of both ends, LeVar.
Ooh.
I ain't been up to snuff for the past few months, as a matter of fact. I don't know what is in me, but it ain't fun.
So that's why you ain't in church, huh? Of course, the fact that your favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is playing them red-hot Arizona Cardinals today don't have nothing to do with it, does it?
No, it don't. I really am sick. I'm just starting to feel a little bit better right now. My stomach is almost settled.
Oh, looky there. Buddy Ryan is yelling at one of his players. Oh, yuck. Here. Aim for the bucket. Oh, you are a mess, LeGrand. A real mess.
I need for you to do me a favor, LeVar.
What?
I need you to go to the Circle K and get me some 7-Up. And if you would you just make me up some nice warm milk toast? I need to eat, but it has to be something mild, like milk toast.
Who do you think I am, your wife? Hey, why ain't she here?
She had the lesson in Relief Society today. Oh, I'm sick.
Look, you got to start taking your vitamins, LeGrand. You need to take your vitamin C. You need to take your sulfur pills. You need your catfur oil. You need your seaweed and plenty of that crab shell calcium and ragweed. You need to take all that stuff on a daily basis.
Every day?
Every day.
I need to take that stuff daily?
Yep, a good handful of vitamins on a daily basis.
I know you don't hardly ever get sick, LeVar. You take all them things daily?
Well, that stuff don't work on me like it works on most people. I just try to drink a pint of cheap rum every day. Yep, pint of rot gut hooch deli does the trick for me.
It's 9:49 right now.
Let's see. So
yes.
Do we want to mention the Squatters Brunch? I heard you say something.
I don't know. Yeah, it's sold out.
That's what yeah.
So now the only way you're going to be able to get
a waiting list?
I think you could probably get on a waiting list. Call over to Squatters. It is the downtown location of Squatters, 147 West Broadway. You could probably be put on a list, but it is full. So now your only way to enjoy it is to listen when we post that episode up on the Radio from Hell podcast. If you're not subscribed to it, make sure you do that. That way you'll never miss an episode, and that's also where we'll post all of our Sundance coverage. This year we'll be up at Sundance at the Wasatch Brew Pub on Friday, January 19th, and then again on Monday the 22nd. Have 30-plus interviews from this year's Sundance and Slamdance film festivals. A lot of pretty interesting documentaries that will be coming through, including Believer, which is they follow Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons, and also Quiet Heroes, which I think is a local story here about, I want to say, maybe I shouldn't say anything without knowing exactly what it is. Hang on one sec, I can tell you. But yeah, so subscribe to the Radio from Hell podcast. You can do that wherever you get podcasts. And
it's free.
It's free. We put it out in big chunks, one downloadable chunk every day. It's about the AIDS crisis here in Utah. That's what Quiet Heroes is about. Yep.
It's interesting to me that people, like my brother-in-law, I try to get together with him about once a week, and we have coffee and chat, and he has a wide range of interests. He's interested in politics, and I say, well, I listen to this political podcast, or I listen to this podcast, and he said, I haven't really tried podcasts yet. And I said, look, give me your phone. It's so easy. People, there are lots of people like that, I think.
50% of people who have never downloaded a podcast.
Is it? I would have thought it was even more than 50, but that's the statistic.
You need to let people know when the podcast is on.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to let
It's
them know that.
broadcasting now.
It's broadcasting now.
It's kind of irritating to me that when I some of the podcasts I listen to are very topical.
Uh-huh.
So and I come across them and I go, oh, I like this point of view. I'm going to listen to this podcast. So you download it, and it downloads all of the episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
And you go, but I'm not going to go back and listen to episode 1 from 5 years ago where they were talking about Barack Obama. I don't want to. I want to hear so you have to go through
and delete them out. But
yeah, and you can delete them in a big chunk, but it's still, I don't know. It's irritating to me that they do that.
Okay, there was a guy emailed me, Judd Bagley, and he writes for Utah Business, and he wanted to interview me about Geek Show
coming up on the 10th anniversary of the Geek Show podcast.
So huge. Kudos.
Coming up in, I believe, end of April, beginning of May. I'll have to get the exact date.
It's pretty amazing.
But he wanted to talk about the business side of it and all that, not necessarily the programming. And he said something at the beginning of the interview, and I realized that he didn't realize that he was insulting me. You were talking about you were insulted by someone, and now that we're talking about podcasts, I'll bring it up. We're talking about podcasts and all of that, and he says, "Well, I don't listen to broadcast radio anymore. I haven't listened to broadcast radio for years. I only listen to podcast."
Well,
and I was going to say something, but he kept going, and I didn't want to interrupt him.
Well, I haven't read a newspaper or a magazine.
I was going to say business. How's that print going? How's that? How's that working out for you?
I mean, I get it. People are busy. They can't listen all the time. They can't listen to the whole show, except from some of those people in the chat room. Apparently, they got nothing going on.
Nothing but time.
Yeah. So I get it. It's hard sometimes to listen, but I still prefer to listen to things live if I possibly can. But podcasts are a good alternative.
Well, and people enjoy this podcast.
Well, the other
Radio from Hell podcast.
Yeah. Between streaming, which X96 does, and between our podcast, like there isn't a reason. The coolest gift I got for Christmas was one of those Google Homes, and to be able to come in and say, "Okay, Google, play X96," and it just will start playing the radio station. Before you'd say, "Oh, I didn't have a radio," or the reception isn't very good.
He didn't mean you. Because my phone just went off.
No. Before it'd be like, "Oh, I don't have the reception," or whatever. It just goes right through your Wi-Fi. It is the greatest thing. Okay, Google, play news, play the latest episode of the Geek Show podcast, and it's only as hard as me saying, even if you don't know how to download a podcast, I guess is what I'm saying, it's as hard as saying, "Okay, Google, play the latest Geek Show podcast episode," and that's it. It's playing.
So what then? So what time do you have to do that? What time is it on?
What time is it on?
When it's on.
What time is your podcast
no,
on?
you can only do it when it's on, when it's live.
Speaking of I just got this news flash here. Joe Arpaio, remember him?
Sheriff Joe.
Sheriff Joe, longtime sheriff, Maricopa County, Arizona. He was up on federal charges for various things. Donald Trump pardoned him. Sheriff Joe's running for the Senate in Arizona.
Oh, good for him.
He wants to be a senator.
That would be fun.
The Senate seat being vacated by Jeff Flake. Yeah, that would be.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I got a lot to offer, he said. I'm a big supporter of President Trump, and I'm only 85.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to run for Senate. I don't think he'll win.
No, he will not.
I would hope not, but I would not place bets on anything anymore, politically speaking.
Hey, look, it's John Smith.
Oh, hi, John.
Hi, guys.
Hey, John.
How's it going?
Good. John, what's new? You got a new jacket?
I did get a new jacket. Thank you for noticing.
You Todd got a new jacket too.
Yeah, my mom bought this one for me.
Oh, that's really
for
sweet.
Christmas or just cause?
Well, she gave me a gift card for Christmas, and I was shopping and I said, "Hey."
Now you that your coat has a hood,
Yes.
And Todd's coat had a hood.
Yeah.
Do you ever use the hood? Would you ever?
If it's
use
raining, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't use it to keep warm. There's just this thing, and it's like ingrained in every junior high male that if you put the hood up, you are somehow weak. You are somehow less of a man, and you learn this in like the 7th and 8th grade.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I never paid attention.
Well,
to that.
somebody better tell Kanye because he always has.
He's always got the hood up.
Yeah.
He's
you
not
know
much
what
of
I'm
a
saying?
man. Not much of a man.
But at least if you went to Benyon Junior High in 1990 or 1991,
I didn't.
You learned quick, fast, and in a hurry that if you put that hood up to stay warm,
and
you were a part of the anatomy. That
And
is
I've always learned that the rules you learned in junior high you should live by your entire life.
Well, look at the way I dress.
Yes, exactly.
There's no difference from Benyon Junior High in the 90s.
People point at you and go,
and then I go get me a Bear Claw and a Diet Coke, and that's
there you go.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I eat the same, I dress the same.
All right, let's do the promo and get out of here.
You ready, Bill?
Yeah.
On Wednesday's Radio from Hell show
at 6:45 and 8:45, it's Things That Must Go. Send yours now to radiofromhell@x96.com. Put "must go" in the subject line, and you could win a gift certificate to the Prohibition.
At 7:45, we'll have Hello, Yeah, What? That's a chance for you to get us to talk about anything. I mean, literally anything.
And at 9 a.m., we have Corey's Community and Concert Calendar.
That's all on Wednesday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
Thanks, Gina.
All right. Welcome. Gino. All right, what do you got?
Nonstop music wingding.
All right.
We're going to do some Like It or Eat Me today.
Mm-hmm.
Also, going to tell a dad joke.
Great. Right.
Yeah. You won't know when it's coming.
It's going to tell a dad
But
joke.
at some point during my show today, you'll get a dad joke. You want one now? You want a preview?
No, that's
a dad joke and whatnot.
What did
whatnot.
I don't want you to blow your load.
What did the 0 say to the 8?
You're going forward, and I told you.
I don't know, John.
All
What
right.
did the 0 say to the 8?
Nice belt.
I don't get it.
All right.
Oh, because it's a 0 with a
He's
belt on
wearing-
it.
He's wearing a belt.
All right, live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Gina's got the old Star 102.7 flu.
Mm-hmm. John Smith is next.
Keep listening.
A 1-hour nonstop music wingding starts now. Utah's original alternative, X96.